We made it. We made it to the season recap, player rankings, and award ceremony. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of my Survivor 50 reviews. I have been watching Survivor for less than a year, which is insane. Like considering how many seasons I've seen, how many people I've learned about, how many games I've played at this point. But it's all thanks to y'all. Thank y'all so much for making this journey so special. I am forever, of course, the host, and I have 4 amazing co-hosts. Thank y'all so much for coming for the second time. We got my boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Alex. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Of course. Wow. What an honor. Yeah, I'm Alex. I run a board game recommendations and suggestions channel on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok called Might I Suggest a Game. And I'm kind of like forever. I'm fairly new to the Survivor journey. I started watching at 45, got a chance to go back and watch some seasons, but excited to spill all the fun stuff about 50.
And one of our favorite LRG legends. He can't stop winning. Colby. Go ahead. Welcome back, by the way. Welcome back.
Hey. Thank you for having me back. I'm excited. I recently just got casted for my 3rd LRG, so maybe we can keep the streak going. We'll see. I'll give you guys updates when it happens.
I think
what month is it in?
Yeah.
It's in July, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
She just want to make sure she's not in the same one.
And of course, one of my favorite people, our favorite villain / hero, it's Ben.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Ben M, to distinguish from the other Bens who've been on the show. And yeah, I met forever along with Alex and Katina playing Zoom Traders on Gibbs games. And I also play lots of Blood on the Clock Tower. Yeah, hero villain's a good way to describe me. Started watching.
And he just got here. He just got here.
I just got here. I was doing bar trivia with people from work. I needed to get home in 30 minutes and I had 15. So I kind of ran a little bit and then I was covered in sweat. So I had to take a shower. So it may have been faster to just walk, but I am home now, excited to be here. And yeah, I've been watching Survivor since season 32 and I've watched pretty much every season by this point.
And one of our favorites. Thank you so much for coming back, Katina. Last but not least.
Hey. I have been watching Survivor since Richard Hatch days. And I've often said here, I had a ex-boyfriend relationship with Survivor. It was on again and off again and on again and off again. And I came back for 50. And I'm excited to be able to talk to you guys about it.
And I'm so happy that all of y'all are here. So how this is going to work is we're about to recap the whole season. Throughout my episode reviews, I had 17 different guests. Shouts out to y'all. Y'all are 4 of 17. Thank y'all. I sent out a document for every single guest to rank the players of Survivor and also give awards. I took those documents, put them all together, and got the average placements. And right now, we're about to go through every single contestant from number 24 to number 1. Sound good? And along the way, we'll introduce those awards as well. But I do have a question, but it's just going to take a raise of a hand. That's it. Are you happy with the winner of Survivor 50?
Jacoby is.
Yeah.
Jacoby. Okay. I'm happy from the final 3, I guess I would say. But how would y'all rank this season also on a scale of 1 to 10? Let's just say the numbers. Ben?
6.
Alex?
I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Colby?
I've been saying 6, 7.
Katina?
Negative. Nah, I say 5. 5.
Okay. I am new to Survivor. Don't hate me. I like the season a lot. So I gave it an 8. But I will say, of the 17 guests and myself, so 18 altogether, pretty much everyone agreed with y'all. This season got ranked a 6, average, right in the middle. So this is a 6 ranked season, or a 6 level ranked, however you say that. I'm not good with words. But let's get right to the rankings. Number 24, the worst player of the season, I guess. Do y'all got any guesses who ranked here?
Jenna.
I don't know. I mean, I think people were probably pretty mad at like Joe or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised.
Joe.
I didn't know how we were ranking, to be completely
Joe?
honest. I don't know how
It was
anybody-
hard.
Third place. All right.
No, nobody liked them.
Well, I'll tell
He was
you.
a goat and everybody knew it.
I'll tell you, this person's average placement was 22.3, and it is in fact Jenna. Poor Jenna, ranked last place. What did y'all think of Jenna's game? For me, I had her ranked as number 23. I think that Jenna just played too hard, too fast. I would have liked to see her actually play. Like, why would you, as the most old school player, go after Suri? I didn't think that was smart. I feel like she should have teamed up with Suri and Ozzy and maybe got someone else, and they could have got Savannah out first. That's just my thought. So I ranked her as number 23. I didn't think she was last place, but 23 for me. What did you think, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had Jenna lower on my list, mostly just because we didn't get to see a lot of her, and having consumed some of the exit press and content of her after the season and things like that, I have to say, like, I would have really loved to see her play more. The tricky part is, like, she was the oldest school player there and played old school right off the bat, and it's just like you can't do that anymore, you know. So it really came to bite her in the butt, but you know, would have loved to see a little bit more of her for sure.
Katina?
Well, I had her at the bottom of my list because I didn't see much of her. I agree, Alex. She came in like you should play in season 1 and 2 and 3. So it wasn't surprising that she went after Suri. It's just that doesn't work right in today's, in today's Survivor. But I mean, I also have wished that Jerry would have been on this season more than Jenna. So I kind of had a feeling about her anyway. I wanted to see Jerry. So, but hey, good job, Jenna.
Ben?
Yeah, so I also had Jenna at the bottom of my list. And I guess one thing I'll say with my list, I tried to look at coming into the season, what was the reputation, and then what did they do to maybe change it, improve the reputation. And I think with Jenna, I actually disagree a little bit. I don't think she played an old school game. I think she tried to play a new school game way too quickly without really realizing that the game hasn't changed as much as she thought. And it got her in trouble. And the fact that Savannah, who the only thing people knew about was her name, and the fact that she won, managed to make it longer than Jenna, tells me that Jenna did not play a very good game on the season.
That's a great point. And I haven't seen Old School Survivor, so y'all telling me this, I'm just taking y'all word for it. But Kobe, what'd you think of Jenna?
I also had Jenna at 23. I'm conflicted because I actually agree with Ben that I don't think she played an old school game. I think she came in really fast and really hard trying to play new school, and she went straight into the gameplay and kind of forgot the old school basics of we should probably establish, relationships, working connections before we go straight to targeting the most famed player in the game. I think that also was a terrible move. I think if she works with Suri, I think she goes a lot further. I don't understand why she was so scared of Suri that early on. But
I agree. Jenna also got 1 vote for the most disappointing player on this season. But moving on to number 23, we got someone that hurts my heart being at number 23. Average placement of 20.7. It's my girl, Chrissy.
Oh.
I felt so bad. She got 3 votes for the most disappointing player and 1 vote for someone who will never play again. Shouts out Chrissy. I feel like Chrissy just didn't get edited very well. She did make 1 move. She was about to go home. Let's not forget. She was about to go home instead of Camilla, and she made a move. I wish we got more content like that from Chrissy, because I really like Chrissy on her season. Can I just say, everyone talks about how Aubrey was about to win, but Chrissy was about to win too, her season. Let's not forget. I know the internet don't like Chrissy now, but Chrissy was about to win her season if it wasn't for Fire. Okay, Colby, what did you think of Chrissy?
First, I just have to combat that and say I think that it's like myth. Everybody knows Devin wins the season if he doesn't go home and fire the Ben. I do love Chrissy. I was a Chrissy believer. I still think, honestly, I probably would give my vote to Chrissy over Devin, to be completely honest with you. Now, when it comes to this season, I think she was poorly edited. I agree with that. The things we did see from her made us dislike her. Let's cut from the same cloth. And, you know, I ranked her at 19. And that's all I got for Miss Chrissy. That's all I got for her.
I had her at 21, so I mean, I guess it wasn't that much. But Ben, go ahead.
I agree with what Kobe said. I also have Chrissy at 19. I believe I voted for her for both of the two things you mentioned, most disappointing and least likely to return. I'll give her credit. She had one really good confessional in that one episode where there was the group of 5 about how, yeah, I'm not going home even though they think I am. But I don't know. She was at the bottom of her starting tribe, and it took Coach to tell her that she was going home. Like, if Coach has more awareness than you, I just don't think you're playing a very good game, even though she made it pretty far in the season. And I just think she was much less flexible than she needed to be on the season.
Alex.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what they've said, but I also think I voted her pretty low because the final tribal council kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. I feel like the way that, she didn't, it just feels like, and we'll get into all of that, I'm sure, at some point, but just the way that her and Stephanie were really kind of just glazing Jonathan and not really adding to the conversation. I was just like, well, what have you done here? What are you adding to the situation? And so yeah, I just was for a season like 50 with so many people and so many opportunities for different returnees, having someone who's a nothing burger really feels like, oh, we could have missed it. We missed out on somebody who could have been really good. It's just the opportunity.
I agree with all of that 100%. Katina.
Well, I think that Mega Grandma was actually did better than you guys rated her. I think I rated her a little bit higher. I think because also I was forgetting people on the show. I gave her some points for entertainment. I gave her some points for a social game with her MAGA crew. And so she did outlast some people due to the connections that she made. She knew what side she was on. And that's about it. I didn't cry when she left, but I did give her some credit for her social game with the right people in her group. So I did try to be fair as far as entertainment, outwit, outlast, outplay. Also, all the women were edited horribly throughout the entire show. So I think we probably could have seen more. She made me maybe laugh a couple times. So she rated a little bit higher, but not that high.
And I just want to point out, Jenna got 6 votes for the bottom tier. 24 out of 24, Jenna did. And you said that all the women were under edited. It shows with these rankings because number 22 is also a woman. She got 3 bottom tier votes. And this was actually surprising to me, in my opinion, because I'm like, I definitely don't think she's last place. Actually, I don't even think she's 22nd place, but she got 19.1 average. It's Stephanie super low. I had Stephanie ranked as number 13. So I mean, it shows you she got no awards, but she did get one vote for most disappointing. I don't really have much to say about Stephanie except that I think that this ranking is really low for her. Like really low. Let's start with Ben.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I am not a Stephanie fan by any means. I had her ranked number 9. I thought Stephanie played a very good game this season, and she was actually kind of twist screwed on the season. If you think about her her game in the pre-merge, her entire alliance got voted or got medevaced, lost their votes, got out of the game, things she couldn't control, and then she was at the bottom of her swap tribe, and she was never a target, despite the fact that they lost challenge after challenge after challenge. And at the merge, she had a strong alliance with other threats, and she wasn't going home if the coin flip thing didn't happen in the situation she did. Now,
that's true.
I don't think she played that well. I think she should have thrown Jonathan under the bus when she didn't, and I don't think she was on a track to win the season. But 22, I think people are voting based on likability and not strategy, because I actually think she played a good game.
100%. But you got to think, if I voted her 19 and you did 8, she got a lot of. Well, 3 people said 24 out of 24 though. So Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think the rankings show that she was very controversial, and I think a lot of that stems from the off the island stuff, that has come out after the seasons aired and things like that. People, and her comments after, in her exit press and everything. But I think I definitely had her ranked higher than this, and I feel like for her, it's like, she went on that journey. She won the journey. There was like a couple of storylines that was interesting. I do totally agree with Ben that she should have thrown Jonathan under the bus. Like, what do you like? She sacrificed her game so that Jonathan could win. And then, get 3 votes. I didn't understand kind of the mental process there, but I guess she was like too caught up in the honor and integrity that as soon as the honor and integrity crumbled for her, she didn't know what to do. So it was a very interesting thing, but I definitely think she played a better game than 22, but I totally, this shows the type of, character she was this season, very controversial.
Katina.
I mean, who could forget her arm and her pain and her getting that immunity idol? I ranked her higher. I agree, Alex. I think people lean towards likability. I tried not to. I don't like her at all, but I did rank her somewhere between Forever and Ben, because she again was connected with the people. I think what may have left a sour taste in people's mouths is also during the finale, how she was with Jonathan. It didn't seem like she was playing for herself. She was playing for that fabulous leader. And I mean, she was loyal to him all the way to the end. But I did rank her higher. I mean, it seems like she tried to make some connections. She should have been going home a few times and didn't. But I do also agree that she was in love with Jonathan. I'll say that, and that messed her up. But I don't like her as a person at all.
I guess I don't either. But I realized I forgot to promote this show, so that's all I'm typing. I don't want y'all to think I'm not paying attention. But Jacoby, go ahead.
Stephanie's a hard case for me. I also tried to take my feelings out of it and like just go based on her game. And I came to the conclusion that it wasn't a very good game. Like she did have her moments, and I do think then she survived those swaps, but that to me, I don't know, it was like she was surviving. It was always like Stephanie was a part of people's plans, because if she wasn't a part of the plan, she was going to be the plan. So either we voting for Stephanie or we using Stephanie as a vote. Which one is it? And then we get submerged and she's with the cloth, and she shouldn't have been. She should have been trying to work with Sari, because girl, that's the path to the end. All of Sari's allies win. So I don't know why she was trying to lie and missed the mother of all misting. That was a bad move. I agree that had the coin flip not happened, she probably stays that night. But I think she goes next, to be completely honest, because once Sari knows you said her name, baby, it ain't long. You said my name. You got to go. So I think I ranked Stephanie 16, because, I mean, she did good for where she got, better than how I expected. Coming into this game, she would have been 24 for me, because I can't stand this Stephanie. But I'll give her flowers for what she did, and I hope I don't ever have to see her on my screen again.
Holy cow! I love you being super real.
I like it.
I love you being super real about Stephanie, but
well, and if you think about it, like go back to that episode where she gets the advantage, right? Katina doing her best over the shoulder impression, wonderful. But like when she comes back with that advantage, Sari immediately clocks it, and it just shows that like they're playing 2 different levels of game. there. You know, it's just like, oh, I'm gonna hide it. I'm gonna hide it. You can't do that on 50. Come on.
Number 21. Number 21, super sad case. I'm so sad to see this person so low. I ranked them number 8. I ranked them number 8, but they have one bottom level ranking. I think I know who it was from, and they won no awards. It is Kyle. I'll let Alex talk about Kyle first.
Yeah, I mean, I had Kyle kind of low just because we didn't get a lot of him this season. I actually thought, like, in the one half of an episode that we did get him, he positioned himself well. You know, he was trying to lower his threat level as a previous winner. You know, he was doing all these things. And, you know, I actually, you know, he was maybe the only good part of season 48 and you know, notoriously bad season in the new era, and I thought, like, he was positioning himself, he was at least aware, right, which I feel like was kind of the story of this season is, like, are you aware of, like, the threat that you present as a whole? And I think that he was very aware, but we just didn't get a lot of him, which was really a crime.
Low key, I thought you ranked them last. That's why I asked you to go first.
I mean, I might have. I think I ranked him maybe like 23 or something, just because, you know, it's like I wanted to see more, but we didn't.
Okay, my bad, Alex.
It's all good. It's all good.
I ranked him number 8 because I think he was in a really good spot. And, like, when I was putting together all of the, like, the rankings, I was like, well, damn, he was in a better spot than a lot of people, in my opinion. Like, I mean, think about it, if Kyle didn't leave. I mean, this MAGA alliance or cut from the same cloth alliance that people talk about. I mean, could you say it if he was in it? Because Kyle was tied in with a lot of those people. I just think if he lasted, I think he would have lasted longer than D. I think Kyle would have been the longest lasting winner of the 3. I guess that's not saying much, but I just think he was in a really good spot and very well aligned. And he's just, like, really, really good at the game. And that's why he won. Katina, I'll let you talk about Kyle next.
Well, he could still be MAGA. We don't know who he voted for. But
neither do we know about Chrissy. We don't know about Chrissy either.
We know Chrissy.
We know Chris.
We know Chrissy mayonnaise, no sauce on the spaghetti where she lays. Kyle, I just basically, I'm with Alex. I didn't see a whole lot from him. I loved him in this season. I love what he does outside. He has a new app out with Camilla as well about organization. So look it up. He's not paying me for that, but I did rank him lower just because we didn't get to see a whole lot from him. And I honestly think that the MAGA crew would have eventually looked at him as being at the bottom of it. But
all right, Colby, go ahead.
I don't see this connection that Kyle has to the MAGA crew. Like, where's the connection to the MAGA crew, y'all? I'm not seeing it because Chrissy, I don't think he would have worked that well.
I think Kyle would have been with that crew.
I think Kyle would have got in because that's how Kyle plays. But I think Kyle also is smart enough to know anybody who's too closely aligned to them is gonna lose because nobody likes y'all. Like, you can't be aligned to them.
Kyle was close with Genevieve, who was close with Colby, who was close with Stephanie. He's in that group.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but he was at the bottom of that group.
Yes, I don't think he was at the bottom. Doesn't mean I like you. You know, like, I'll work with you for a few votes, but that don't mean I plan to actually work with you. We're allies through allies. But
they might have looked at Kyle as being a safe person. I'll say it like that.
Like they was trying to be safe with Joe, but Joe was not going. But Kyle, I actually ranked that 18. A little bit of likability helped boost him. He was on my draft team and was the first person gone after playing a phenomenal premiere. But I did just have this thought of, actually, while we're talking, it's possible that he maybe wasn't positioned as great as we saw, and because of his exit and the way he went out, the editors chose to give him the biggest ups that they possibly could.
That's true.
But to say that, I still think that he was, doing pretty well for what we saw, and I love it, you know. And he was the guy who gave the winner quote: "The winner better come from this tribe," and they did.
They kept that in for a reason, right?
Yep.
Ben, go ahead.
I put Kyle at 15. He had a great episode, but it was one episode. I'm not gonna have him too much higher. And yeah, to me, it felt like he was kind of at the middle. It was like Colby was with Stephanie, and then he was kind of with Genevieve and Q, maybe. So I think he was in a great spot, but it was just not enough for me to put him any higher without seeing more than one episode.
Moving on to number 20. This person was ranked. This person came in an average of like 17. They were ranked the bottom 3 times, one of which was from me. Number 24. Where is this person at? I barely saw them on the show, and now I can't find them on my screen. But they got no awards, but they got 3 votes for most disappointed, one of which was from me, and 3 votes of number 24. It's Angelina, and I was very disappointed in Angelina's performance because in my journey of watching Survivor, I wasn't on David versus Goliath yet before, like, when 50 was announced. So I saw the cast get announced, and I didn't know who Angelina was yet. And as I was on the 30s, like, the 30s is kind of rough when you're watching it, but David versus Goliath is a really, really good season. And like, I got to Angelina, and I'm like, oh, this is why she's on 50. Like, she is really entertaining. She's really good. But Survivor gave her nothing. Like, she got to me, she was the most under-edited person on the whole. Like, even her exit episode, we saw nothing. We saw nothing with her relationship with Christian or with Mike White. Like, she just, in my opinion, they shouldn't have brought her back if they were going to show nothing of Angelina. So that's why I gave her last place. She was so disappointing to me because I loved her so much on David vs. Goliath. And then we saw nothing. Even when she gave the jacket out, anticlimactic, and Genevieve did it better. So Ben, I'll let you talk about her next.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I should have voted Angelina for most disappointing, but I even forgot about her. I didn't even think to vote for her. I think it says a lot. Before the season, like, people were asking who on the season are you most excited for, and I was saying Q and Angelina, and everyone's like, Angelina, what do you mean? And I was defending her so much, and then the season happens, and I had her ranked 23 out of 24. She just really gave nothing for me, and much like I said earlier with Chrissy, like, she was at the bottom of her tribe and didn't realize until I think someone else came and told her at the swap. It was just not, I don't know, she was never in a great spot. She didn't really do that much to entertain me this time. And she wasn't even able to keep her David versus Goliath people loyal to her. So yeah, I put her pretty low, unfortunately.
Alex.
Yeah, I mean, David versus Goliath, one of my favorite seasons of all time, and Angelina, I would say is pretty polarizing in that season. You know, there's some people that love her, some people that hate her. I think that in general, though, she was, it was exciting to see her be announced for the Survivor 50 cast. You know, a lot of people were really excited, and I was, the whole time I just kept thinking, like, who did she wrong on the production side of things to get her edited in the way that she was edited? Because I just feel like, I mean, the way that they edited her was terrible, but also, like, it couldn't have been that bad, right? You know, it couldn't have been, like, it really, like, it just made her feel like a non-factor. Even in her boot episode, she was like, she had like one confessional in her own boot episode. I'm like, that like never happens. And I'm like, okay, sure, you have 24 people, you got a lot of things to do, a lot of moving parts, but even still, I mean, it made the jacket moment feel way anticlimactic because it was like we had no build up to that. It's just like, oh, it's a reference to something, but if you haven't seen the season, like, what does that even mean? You know, it's like it didn't even, like, it was kind of baffling to me, to be honest.
Katina.
Editors dropped the ball on that part too. Could we at least get a flashback to what it was referencing? Faith put out there, Angelina being absent from the episode still doesn't sit well with me. She deserved better. I agree. I ranked her low, honestly, because we didn't get to see her. Also, I forgot that she was part of the cast when I was doing the survey. So it was like, who am I missing? Who am I missing? And then I had to put her in. So, I mean, it was forgettable because they made her forgettable. I would have liked to see more of myself to be able to make an evaluation. I think I voted her right behind Jenna. So my 23rd,
I
because I couldn't remember.
I forgot to mention, Alex actually did forget to rank Angelina altogether. So
Oh, yeah.
Angelina actually is the only person on this cast that has 17 rankings instead of 18.
See,
So maybe that's why she's at 20th place with a 17.8 average.
That makes sense.
What was that, Alex? Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I knew I forgot someone. I'm not surprised that it's Angelina. I mean, everybody's in the same boat here.
Kobe, go ahead.
Now, I actually didn't forget about Angelina because when I was going to 24, I knew immediately who was going to be my 24th spot. And unfortunately, that was Miss Angelina. And I hate it for her because I agree with y'all. I think it's the editors. It comes down to editing, period. But Alex, like earlier when you said a nothing burger, like this is my nothing burger. I got absolutely nothing. No gameplay, no entertainment. Like she was quite literally there until she wasn't. Like she was Mike White's friend until Mike White went home and then Angelina went home next. That's it. That's what we got from her edit. And I hate that for her. And I'm glad that she chose to drag production after her vote out and called them out because she was right. All the women this season were under edited. Not just from her, but like people who I have ranked in my top 3 were under edited. And it's like, you know, so I hate it for her, but yeah, I got nothing from Angelina. Like I can't comment on her gameplay or like her entertainment value or anything from this season. Like that's it.
Yeah. Well, congrats to Angelina for making it to the top 20, though. Now we move on to the 19th rank. It is Angelina's friend, Mike White. Mike White, I will say, Mike White got one bottom level ranking, and Mike White was actually number 24 for a good minute on this rankings. Like in the beginning, he was ranked number 24 average. I had him ranked as my number 19, and he is in number 19. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about him except that in his preseason press, he said, "Oh, I know I'm not gonna win, so I'm just gonna push the entertaining people up and get rid of the boring people like Charlie." But then he did just the opposite because he went after Q, got Q out first, and he let the final 3 be the final 3. But I know not too much on Aubrey, not too much on Aubrey.
Yeah,
but
Took the words right out of my mouth.
But Kobe, go ahead. Talk about Mike White. Oh, and he put Charlie on his show, but shouts out Charlie.
Whew, child. So Mike White got, I think, 17 from me. Honestly, I don't like Mike White. And let me just say this now, because I've been meaning to say this last time too, but I forgot because I just had so much to say about Angelina. Hot take, I don't like David versus Goliath. Sorry, too many people love it. For me, it's just like a bunch of characters that I personally don't connect with. Angelina is a highlight of that season. Everything else, a lot of the rest of it isn't. But when it comes to Mike White for this season, I think he played a good game. And then he got sniped by a friend. I don't really have much to say about him either. I think he was doing good, and well, I don't know, because really he was just playing with his pre-game friendships. So Mike White, he was here, y'all.
And that's why I ranked him so low, because he was playing a pregame. He went in thinking like, okay, I can trust these two 100%. Don't really have to talk much with them, and he couldn't. Is the thing, like one of them didn't know that they were on Survivor, and the other one was like plotting his demise. So that's why I had to put him low, because he didn't really pay attention to everything around him. He just depended on a pregame alliance. But Katina, what'd you think of Mike White?
Tribe with all his
what Jacoby said, I ranked him a little higher because he attempted to make a move. So I could appreciate that than some of the ones that were lower in my list. I mean, he should have been entertaining. He really wasn't. I was happy that we gave him a chance to write the rest of White Lotus, and Camilla is also will be on the show as well. So I can appreciate him for being smart enough to do that. But that's it.
Alex.
Yeah, I think I had Mike somewhere in the middle there. To me, the highlight of Mike White on the season was his abs. My conspiracy theories, he just came on the show so he could take his shirt off, so he could show everybody that he has abs without it being weird. So that's pretty much it. That I mean, I appreciate, I guess, the idea of what he was trying to do, but he. And here's the thing: in David versus Goliath, I thought he kind of got, I don't know, it felt to me like he got dragged to the end a little bit too. So I wasn't sure what he was, if he was going to do many things in the season, and I wasn't really surprised where he did it out.
Ben, close us out.
Yeah, I had Mike ranked at 21, and he frustrated me immensely in this season. I think part of it is personal frustration because I'm a big fan of The Amazing Race, and they had an all-star season, and they brought him back with his dad when they did not deserve to be brought back. Then I saw all these seasons of White Lotus. I really didn't love season 3 of White Lotus, and then I saw him on this cast, and like you said, forever, in his pregame press, he said, "I'm just here to keep the characters in the game." So I was like, okay, I'm down for this. And then he voted out the best character queue. So that was my personal bias. Didn't love Mike on the season. Gameplay-wise, I think he was in a fine spot on a starting tribe. I don't know what, and I actually think Christian made a bad move voting him out, but I still think you have to give Mike some of the blame for the fact that someone he knew out of the game, someone he gave a role in his show to, felt a need to flip on him. I think that means he probably wasn't playing a great game on the season.
Great point. Move on to number 18.
His abs was as white as that spaghetti, though.
Oh my
appreciate
God.
it. I can appreciate
You're not
it.
wrong,
Thank
because
you.
every time I think about him shirtless, I just think about how pale it looked.
Yes, it was very pale.
My boy's transparent.
Yeah, very much so.
Number 18 ranked. They ranked 15.1, like average, which is really good for them. Savannah, not former, but previous winner of Survivor. Savannah, I don't really have much to say about Savannah. I think she did. I mean, what did she leave? Second, third, something like that. Like, I feel like she was kind of set up to fail. Like, no one saw her. They knew she won. It's just, she did really good on her first season. Really good. And I don't think she should have got cast for this season. Could have brought back a different winner. I heard Marianne was supposedly in the running, but Savannah she was never going to make it super far, unfortunately, being a winner that they never even seen. I don't have much to say about Savannah. Katina, why don't you go?
She's pretty.
Jacoby.
I love Savannah. She's actually in my top 3 New Era winners. All 3 of my top 3 New Era winners were brought back for this season, so I was thrilled. She was set up to fail from the beginning, but the fact that she wasn't the first boot and got some legs under her, I said, okay, sister, I see you. You're a winner for a reason. And I also think that the only reason that she's been voted out next is because she's a winner for a reason, So I think that she proved she has more game to her, and I would be thrilled to see her come back because I love Savannah. Like, I'm absolutely a stan. Savannah down. Yeah, that's all I can say, really. I think I ranked her 15.
I ranked her 22. Alex, go ahead.
Sick.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Savannah, I mean, she got out third. I think there was no way that she was going to win. And I feel like the hard part is that it feels bad to put someone in a position like her, where it's like, nobody knows who you are, but they know that you're good at Survivor. They know that you won, right? So it's like you instantly have a target, and especially on those early boots, they're just digging for something that they can like throw up against you, So she was doomed from the start, really, at this point, and hopefully, the next returnee season or like whatever, if she gets a chance to play again, she'll have a little bit of, I did good and then I did bad, whatever, sort of like some of the other previous winners. But yeah, I mean, she was just kind of doomed from the start, and it feels like maybe they should have put someone on there that is more of a blank slate or more of a, fresh start than someone who's just going to get targeted right away.
Ben, go ahead.
Yeah, in the preseason content for the season, they were asking the cast, like, who do you want to vote out first? And pretty much everyone was saying, oh, the 2 people from 49, we should just vote them out. We haven't seen them. Plus, we think Savannah won. So she was kind of screwed. That context is why I have Rizzo much higher on my rankings, the fact that he was able to beat that perception. But the fact is with Savannah, yeah, she survived the tribal council. Then her tribe lost again, and she was kind of screwed. Maybe had they won the challenge, she would have done better. But without having seen that, I have her ranked at number 20.
And moving on to number 17, this person also has 0 awards, no nominees. I put them as number 17. Their average is like 14.1. Is Camilla, very under edited. I don't really have much to say about Camilla. Very super under edited. She deserved better. She tried to make a move with the Blood Moon. She just a victim of circumstance because right before they had just flipped on Jonathan, right? And then, of course, Jonathan went with the other side. She was in a really strong alliance before that, though, when they flipped on Charlie. But nothing really to say about Camilla. Ben, go ahead.
Yep, I have Camilla at 18. I agree. She was in a good spot at the beginning of the game. Then she was forced into being a swing vote at that one tribal council. I don't actually know how much she wanted to keep Rizzo over Charlie. I think she more went along with what Dee and her other allies wanted, but that move did ultimately do her in later on in the game. So the fact that it was her own decision that sort of led to her downfall, that along with a twist, keeps her lower on my list at 18, but I do think she was at least in a decent spot. So she's ahead of a few people for me.
Katina.
I agree with Ben. I really was excited to see her do something and to see her do something without Kyle this time. I did love her exit and I loved her interviews after because she was, I only, they said they had to edit down her exit speech. And I wish that I could have heard the whole thing. But yeah, it was kind of blah for Camilla, but she is one that I like. And after, you're right, Ben, she was part of her own demise, but yeah, not much to say.
Super unfortunate for Camilla because she, when you think about it, she almost won season 48. She would have won Fire, right? She could have been the winner. Jacoby, what'd you think?
I love Camilla, Killer Camilla. I think she obviously was twist screwed. Now, Camilla, I ranked at 13. And a lot of the people I have ranked in this section zone, once we get to some of these people, are like the Blood Moon people. Spoiler alert. Because I think, respectfully, pretty much everybody who was voted out during the Blood Moon probably goes further in the game had the Blood Moon not happened. So I decided rank them over the Cloth because the Cloth got lucky. And Camilla was doing good. I loved the Charlie move. I actually think she did want to do it because like she had a boring season in 48, and I think that's what she came to play and like lie and backstab and like do that. And that's why I also think like when she ultimately was then lied and backstabbed and lies at, she was like, well, this sucks, but that's the game, and it's low-key better than 48. So I love Camilla, and I hope we see her again.
I loved when she called out Rizzo to herself. She didn't let him know that she didn't believe him, but I'm a Camilla fan too.
That was a good one. Camilla Terry, guys. We're all Camilla Terry.
Yeah.
Alex, did you go?
No, I'll just say, I really appreciate how aware Camilla is. I feel like she was this way on 48, and she was very aware in this season, like you were saying, that confessional with Rizzo. And I think she has all the trappings to play a game almost like Aubrey, right? It's like you kind of like you can get in with different groups, you can make moves, you can attribute them to yourself later on, but nobody ever sees you as like a huge threat or anything. You're good at puzzles, you're doing this thing, that thing. And I really think like she has a ton of potential as a Survivor player. And I was really excited to see her because of, the boringness that was 48. It really didn't let her use her game to its full advantage. And again, the game itself was really what screwed her over. But yeah, I mean, I'd still think there's a lot more left in the tank for a Camilla storyline, Camilla arc in a future season.
I agree. I think she would be back as well. But number 16 on this list, their average was 13.4. I ranked them at number 18. They got 3 votes for the rivalry of the season. They also are the winner of the most disappointing player of this season, Charlie. Congratulations, Charlie. You are the most disappointing character on this season. I will let Alex talk about Charlie first.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I liked Charlie, and his ghosts followed him on this season, and that was ultimately what sank his game. I mean, obviously, I'm sure that the revenge narrative wasn't so all-consuming on the island, and that was 100% a trick of the editors. But at the same time, he really gave him some fodder to run with, and they really ran with it. Yeah, I mean, I thought his story in his season was, he had sort of an unconventional partnership or whatever, working with Maria and then getting screwed over by that on the jury. Obviously you want to have some sort of redemption arc from that, but to me, I don't know. It was just kind of a fizzle out for me, which was disappointing. I agree.
Colby?
I did vote for Charlie as most disappointing because I was very disappointed. I just feel like, spoiler alert, I've never been a big Charlie fan, but I feel like
disappointed
because all this hoot and hollering and oh my God, Charlie. Before this season, people were saying Charlie is one of the best runner-ups, not only in the new era, but ever. People were like, oh, Charlie should have won this, Charlie should have won that. And baby, now we're seeing why Charlie didn't win, because that social game is not as good at it. It's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's not. And Charlie was there until he wasn't. He was on a winning tribe. He got swapped, and he didn't have the social connections to do what he did in 46. Because in 46, there were so many more personalities that he could hide behind, I feel like. And then in here, it's like, Dee said it herself. I'm not a fan of his gameplay, and I agree with her. It's kind of boring.
I actually did vote for Charlie versus Rizzo as my rivalry of the season because I thought it started off good and it didn't last too long. It had a good ending. Someone clearly won. It wasn't like some of the other, I'm not gonna spoil the other ones, but I really liked their rivalry, and I think it lasted 3 episodes, maybe 2 episodes, something like that. It was a really good rivalry in my opinion. I think Charlie messed up his own game 100%. He decided to just go after someone when he really didn't have to, because Rizzo wanted to work with him for real. So think about it. If he didn't actually start voicing that he wants Rizzo out, he would stay longer. So I guess I am disappointed by Charlie. I'm not the biggest Charlie fan either. I was more of a Maria fan myself, but yeah, Charlie. Ben, go ahead. Or did Ben go?
Nope, I haven't gone yet. I have Charlie ranked at 22. I'm kind of shocked he made it this high, to be honest. He got swapped into a tribe with 4 people from his starting tribe, and then got outplayed by a guy no one knew who calls himself the Riz God. I just don't think he played a good game at all, but I actually found him a little more entertaining this time than the first time. But gameplay-wise, not really it.
And Katina?
I also gave him credit for entertainment. I did put entertainment in my decision making because he made it watchable. Also, I hated Rizzo during that time, so I needed someone to go hard against him. He didn't disappoint me because I had no high hopes for him in the first place. So, just like the kid that gets D's, if he gets an F, is it really a big deal? So
That's funny.
I will say, I feel like Charlie was put on this season to mobilize the Taylor Swift fandom. So, it just, that was the reason why he was on the season. So as soon as they got him watching, then it doesn't matter what happens.
I think they should have saved Charlie for one more season at 51, because considering this cast, they probably could do 18 runner-ups for a season. They really could. Like when you think about it, maybe not now because they used a lot of them for this. And by runner-up, I mean second and third place because the final three, you know. But moving on to number 15 on this list, I had this person ranked as number 11. Their average placement was 12.8. They won the most likely to never play again. It is Mr. Old School himself, Colby, and I did vote for him for most likely to never play again because he got to be honest, he got a great send-off. So he really should not at that point. If he plays again, it's like, all right, we're gonna do all this for you again. You got a better send-off than Coach, than Sari, than Ozzy, than all these people. You just pre-jury, I know, but Colby did good. I'm glad he had fun. He had fun this time. He did not have fun at Heroes versus Villains. So shouts out to Colby. I liked him on this season. He was cool. He definitely gave dad vibes for sure. What did you think of Colby, Ben?
I was not sure how I was going to feel about seeing Colby on this season, but I actually really enjoyed what he brought to the season. I thought he played better than I was expecting, and he was also more entertaining than I was expecting. I had him ranked at 14, so this spot feels appropriate for me. He did a pretty good job, but I don't know. He was never really had like that. Even without the energy, I don't think he had the killer instinct to win the season, but I like that he was there.
Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think Colby is an example of a character from an older season. You pay homage to them, but he didn't do nothing. You know, he was like, he still, you know, he got to interact with Savannah on that journey. And, you know, he had that like interaction with Rizzo where he's like, you know, I hated Rizzo and then I came to love him. And, you know, he's like, I was Rizzo's age when I first played the game. And I think that perspective was a really interesting perspective to have on the season. And I think like, you know, that's what we were missing from somebody like, you know, like Chrissy or somebody like Stephanie, or, you know, it's like, what is your perspective on playing it now versus, you know, playing it then? And, you know, how are you changing? You know, how are you evolving your game? And even though nobody thought Colby was going to win, including myself, he still kind of gave enough where we were like, oh, I was satisfied with the way that Colby, you know, interacted this season. You know, I was happy he was on 50.
I was definitely happy he was on here because, like, only season I saw of him was Heroes vs. Villains, and it wasn't very good. And I agree with you, Alex, that he got like he was a narrator for a long time while he was there. Like, we saw him start the alliance with Genevieve and Steph and Q and all of them and Kyle. Like, he got a lot of screen time. That's what I'm trying to say. Katina, go ahead.
I enjoyed Colby this season. I think his social game was on point. He was very likable. I think to even the viewers watching. He seemed to honestly seem more relatable. Maybe it is the dad situation that was going on. It was like if you just pick the most normal person, put them in the middle of everyone, you know. And you know, one of my favorite moments with him was Rizzo because I shared the same Dawson. In the beginning, I hated Rizzo too. I liked them a little less. I mean, I liked them a little more later. But I appreciated him saying that because he was speaking for me in the audience. Also, I love that he saw through Coach's bullshit too. I can't remember what his nickname was. I know the Belmont was Joe, but Colby's nickname, and he's like, yeah, okay, whatever. When Joe seemed to be like so honored. So I could appreciate Colby. He seemed normal, but he was also entertaining. And I think that he represented the old Survivor really well. It was good seeing him. And everybody liked him. Everybody did.
Colby, what are your thoughts on Colby?
Colby. Can I just say this is the only season of Colby that I've ever been a fan of him. I agree with you, Katina, that he was much more relatable. And as you were speaking, I kind of thought about it. And I do agree. I think this season he felt less full of himself. I feel like in past seasons, Kobe has always been so righteous back to his first season. And you're like, I hate golden boys. I've always hated golden boys. Get a golden boy off my screen. I don't want to see a golden boy.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Yes. So, but this season, I think Heroes versus Villains 10 years ago has humbled him and continued to humble him. Even going into 50, he came in very humble, knowing, Kobe, you're not that guy. You're probably not going to win, but this is a chance to close the narrative on a 25-year journey for you. So, like, do that. And I thought he did that great. And I loved, and honestly, Kobe clearly had the best send-off of the season from like an old school perspective, or from anybody, honestly. Kobe had the best send-off this season, period. And you know what? He deserved it this season. He did that. Kobe, you did that one season. You did that.
He did. I agree. Moving on to number 14. This person got 1 vote as someone who will most likely play again. They got no votes for the most disappointed, which I was actually kind of shocked by. 12.1 average. It's Q. Look at Q making it to number 14. Was he like the 4th one out? Shouts out Q. I think that Q was one of many people that was screwed over by these twists. But Q didn't even have a vote all season. I don't think. I hope I'm not wrong with that. He didn't have a vote, right? No,
so.
no vote. All right, got it. Yeah, I thought he would have been around longer. Him getting eliminated so early was just sad. I was like, damn, Q. I definitely think he will play again. I definitely think Q. I think Jeff loves Q. And I clearly the fans love Q. He's so funny. I know you just got done talking, but Colby, why don't you tell us what you thought of Q's game?
Q, I liked. I don't necessarily know if I thought he was twist screwed. I do think he got in a very interesting swap. I think, funny enough, Kobe and Q are both examples, really good examples as to why it's actually better in this era in Survivor to go to Tribal Council, like once, maybe twice before you merge, before you swap. Because now you were in a great position on your original tribe. No vote, had the majority. You were good, living it up, winning. Now you swap, you don't have your alliance, you still don't have a vote. I respectfully feel like you probably should have just lost. Y'all could have got rid of Aubrey, the easy vote. You get your vote back, and we keep it moving. But hey, I think Q was fun for what he brought this season. I love Q. He's funny, and I know we'll see him again. And yeah,
I agree with everything you said. That is something when I became a Survivor fan that when I watch returning seasons, that I actually don't like. I like, because they're on different tribes. Like, we don't get to see some people interact, So like what you said, like, yeah, you kind of want to go to tribal. And I do know that they did have that plan that you said, Kobe. They did want to lose and get rid of Aubrey, but it just didn't play out that way. Alex, you want to talk about Q next?
Yeah, I would never put Q as my most disappointed. I was only disappointed that he was gone, It's like, he did not disappoint me. In the few episodes that he was here, he gave everything he had, and fellow Zoom Traders alumni Q, gotta put some respect on his name. He is just great TV, right? And his season was one of the first seasons that I had ever seen. And he was one of those players that was just like, they didn't vote him out because, like, of course the easy vote would be Q, and he's just a character, and you just want him around because I can imagine he's great for morale around camp. He's just a funny guy, and all the people who are like, oh, I don't like Q, or I don't vibe with Q. I don't think I vibe with them, because I'm like, that's my type of humor, It's like, he's like, all the people that are like, anti-Q are like, I don't think we're not seeing the same thing here, clearly.
You're not cut from the same cloth if you don't like Q.
That's right. That's what they say.
Yep. Hey, the cut from the same cloth people love Q. I'm just putting that out there. They love Q. Ben, go ahead. You can talk about Q next.
Okay, I have Q ranked number 17. Q is maybe my favorite Survivor contestant of all time. And because of that, season 46 is my favorite non-returning player season of all time, which I know is a crazy hot take, but I just love Q so much. His game this season wasn't amazing, but his game the first time wasn't amazing either. He's just so fun to watch. Like, I see Dawson in the chat's never seen 46. Like, if you liked Q on 50, like, go watch 46 because he's just great TV. And yeah, I would watch him anytime. Happy he got this high on the list, even higher than I ranked him, and I'm his biggest fan. So cool.
Same. Number 14 for being the fourth one out is crazy work. It's really good for him. Shouts out. I mean, I ranked Kyle number 8. So I mean, Katina, go ahead.
Hot take. I do not like Q. I love Q. I mean, look at him. I mean, he's just him. He's authentically him. I'm hoping that there is a Zoom Traders winner where we get to play with him. I mean, look at him. Just take a moment of silence and just look at that picture. He's everything. He's funny. He's charismatic. He was a physical threat, and I think the people on his tribe was threatened by him. I don't know if they necessarily. And I agree to a certain extent, Ben, that he really wasn't playing quite yet. But he is just so authentic that I just love everything about him. And I think if they wouldn't have voted him out, he really would have been cooking and it would have been more entertaining because he was entertaining from the very beginning.
Yeah. Damn that Mike White. Damn that Mike White.
I see why Mike did it because he is domineering. But like, why are you worried about Q, Mike? Come on. Everybody worried about Q for real?
Because his abs were darker.
Okay.
And I love it. Didn't really become a caricature of himself like he could have. Like so many times the big characters come back, like Debbie or whoever, and they just try to recreate what they did the first time. Whereas with him, you can tell he just genuinely is the way that he is. So I definitely loved watching him. And yeah, whatever we can do, Katina, to get him on a Zoom Traders winner season, I will do.
Do I need to stalk him? I will.
Gibbs,
please.
Gibbs Games Zoom Traders. Let's make sure we give the credit because there's a lot of Zoom traders out there.
Yes,
Gibbs Games Zoom Traders. And you can see actually 4 out of 5 of us on season 17 of Gibbs Game Zoom Traders. Now number 13. I had this person ranked number 20 and number 13. The average placement was 11.2. They were tied for villain of the season for a long time, but then they dropped a lot. So they got 22% of the votes for villain of the season. They got 1 vote for the most disappointing character this season. It is the Dragon Slayer himself, Coach. Coach did not make it to the halfway point of this list. Coach didn't really become coach until he was about to get voted out, in my opinion. Right when he became himself, he got voted out. He was out of there. I liked them on the season. What can I say? I liked them on the season. Shouts out, Coach. I won't be surprised if he don't play again either. Just like he just didn't get a good send off like Colby, but no one got a send off like Colby. So shouts out, Coach. And to be honest, if he wants to play again, I'm sure Jeff probably would let him. Like, come on back. Sure, why not? Ben, go ahead. Talk about Coach.
This is right where I have Coach at number 13. He had a better pre-merge game than I want to give him credit for. He wasn't a great spot, I think, on his first tribe. And when he got down to the group of 5, they decided to vote Colby out over him. So I have to give him some credit for that. And as much as I don't enjoy Coach, I cannot stand Coach, but I really enjoyed the one episode, the one like right before he got voted out. I did enjoy him. I hate to admit it, but I did. So he's right in the middle for me. I never want to watch him again. And then if he gets cast on a show, I'll acknowledge how great the casting is and watch him anyways.
Sorry. Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of people who come back and are caricatures of themselves, I feel like that's exactly when you were saying that about, how that didn't happen with Q. I'm like, that is Coach to a T, right? That is literally, he's like, this can't be real. It's like every time you see him on the screen, it's like, what are you even saying? That's not even a haiku. You have so many too many syllables. Like I should have written a haiku about it, but it was you can't deny that he lays it on thick for the camera. You always it because he has those cutaways where it's just like him in a hammock, and it's like there's probably like 4 production cameras like on him and then like 1 camera back at camp. Like nobody cares what anybody else is thinking. They only care about like what Coach is up to. And what I thought they did well with this season and what ended up being good was that Coach sort of ran his course. He did his thing where he laid low and then he started to turn it up when he became a threat, and then he started to going way off the rails, and then he got out. And then it was like, okay, cool. He did his thing. We saw Coach. We got the haikus. We had one episode where he was the main character, and then he's out. And then I don't have to worry about him anymore. So I think he's very aware of that, whether he'll like admit it or not, that he's like playing a character. But like that's what I can appreciate for Coach on reality TV, right? It's all a game.
Katina.
Everyone needs a villain. Everyone needs to have someone that's made for TV. And I don't like Coach. And as much as I picked on Coach, I love the entertainment value that Coach brings. I love the caricature of himself. I love that he knows that the cameras are following him. He gave us a show. He was funny being himself, I guess. But he was also great entertainment value. It wasn't boring when he was around. So I have to give it to him. You all will not say I love Coach, but I did rank him high because of his game, because the fools that followed him did follow him. They were in it with him. The fake nicknames, the haikus. Didn't he sing or something too? It was like all of this ridiculousness, but I needed that in my survivor. I needed someone who was seriously unserious. And to me, that's Coach all the time. He produced that show for a few episodes and I could appreciate it.
Colby.
Katina, you just brought up 2 of the main things I was going to talk about. First, singing. That was probably one of the funniest parts of the season, and one of the only times that I actually like authentically was enjoying Coach this season was when he was singing on the way to tribal. Because a running joke for me and my friends this season was that Coach was producing himself. Like you just like Coach, and I felt like it was overproducing. Like he was playing a character of a character, and I was like, okay, I don't know how I feel about this. It's like you're doing you're doing a lot, but you're also not doing enough for me, Coach. Like it's not giving real. But going into the season, I actually thought that Coach might do good. And then I kind of realized that he's here to play the character. That's what I don't think he came into the season wanting to win, because if he did, he would have played it like South Pacific, which is the version of Coach that I actually like. Every other version of Coach I haven't liked. And it's a hot take. I don't like Coach. I don't find his old dad, uncle jokes funny. None of the stories. I'm like bored with it. Get this man off my screen. If I was trapped on an island with him, vote me out or vote him out tonight or tomorrow, because I'm not going to stay locked on this island with him. Besides that, I think I just had a different view of his game. I think early on, he was well positioned, but that's because everybody's like, oh, it's Coach. Like, tell us a story. Tell us this. Nobody really wants to work with Coach. We're just kind of like, oh, it's Coach. And then, like you guys said, once we get to the merge and he starts kind of gaining, that's as quick as they took him out. Boy, now you're talking too much. You got to go. So I think he was fun, and I honestly would like to see him again. Even though I just said all that, I would like to see him again, because maybe he'll give me South Pacific Coach again, just once. I know everybody hated him that season.
It's in there. It's in there, right?
Coach. I like game player Coach. I don't like goofy clown Coach.
So we're at the halfway point. So like at this point, you take the cast, you split them in half, you rank them from best to worst, you cut it in half. All the people we just talked about would be on the lower end, and all these people are on the higher end. So we're starting with number 12, which I ranked this person as number 12. Their average was a 10.3, but they got one vote for someone who will never play again. They got 2 votes for the most disappointed player this season, and they got three bottom tier rankings, number 24 of 24, which is insane because they are the runner up of this season. It's Joe. So I ranked him as number 12 because the way I see it is he was in the finals. So he can't be on the other side, in my opinion. So he's on this side, but pretty low because of how the jury viewed him, which we watched the season finale together, me, Ben, and Katina, and we were kind of praising Joe, thanks to Emily, right? Not thanks to Joe, but Emily was like bigging up Joe's game and like, all right, like he did some stuff, but he just didn't know how to say it at Tribal, right? Like he didn't play that bad. It's just he played that bad, and I guess I don't really know how to say it. But Katina, why don't you talk about Joe?
Well, I love the Belmont. I rated him probably around 13 for the fact that he won immunities when he needed to, and the fact that he was in the final. As far as any type of gameplay, though, Joe had none. Joe was not entertaining to me. He was a snooze fest. I liked him. I think his moment was impersonating Rick. I think Rick made him more funny, and then he wasn't again. I could appreciate him connecting with Tiffany for like 5 minutes and trying to code switch. That was entertaining to me. I can also say he touched my heart in the finale by helping Rizzo. I wish I could have saw more of Joe smiling and laughing and enjoying himself. I want Joe to learn how to spell inconceivable, and that's about it.
Calling this man a snooze fest was hilarious. I don't think he was good TV either, but I definitely could see him coming back because I think Jeff loves Joe. Ben.
I agree with most of what you said, Forever. I also had Joe right at number 12. He was my winner pick for the season because I thought, why would anyone ever vote Joe out? And that reasoning was correct. Unfortunately, you have to be able to convince a jury to vote for you to win the game, which you couldn't do. And like Dawson said in the chat, like from what I saw, I might have voted for Joe, but it's more because I wasn't impressed by anything either of the other two were saying than anything he did. I feel like 12 was an appropriate spot because he was positioned really well in the game, but there's a whole part of the game which is earn the votes of the jury, and he did not do that and was not even close to getting a single one. I think Emily was the only person that even had enough respect to acknowledge that he was sitting there.
No, Rizzo would have voted for him. He said it inside the thing, but he said he went to Ponderosa and he saw that no one was voting for him, so it's like, all right. Colby, why don't you talk about Joe?
I have Joe at 9. I liked Joe this season. Hated him in 48. Never want to see it again. I have been saying all season long, I like curmudgeon Joe. Like, consider you're saying, like, you wish he was smiling and happy. No.
No, not all the time.
Joe was at peak entertainment level when
Joe was on a period the entire season. And I can say that. I used to have them.
That's fair. I think Joe is just really funny when he's going back and forth with people over the basics of Survivor, because it's like trying to explain something to a toddler and it's like common sense and they're like, okay, but I want it now. Like, I don't understand. I just want to cry about it. Like, I thought he played a good game. That's strong. Good game is a strong word. I thought he played a respectable game. Um, I agree with you, Ben, that I don't think Joe would like Joe could play Survivor 100 times, and I think he would make it to the end 80% of the time. But
Yeah.
I think a big reason of that would be because people know he can't win. But the reason why I also have him a little bit higher in my rankings this season is because this season Joe also knew he couldn't win, which was a difference
That's
from the last
true.
season. And him having that social awareness enough to know he had no shot in hell, you get ninth place from me, bud. Big up.
So so Kobe, I think that Joe could have won 48 if he went. Like I said this in one of my other podcasts. If he went with Eva, and what's his name, Mitch, I think Joe could have won. I don't think Eva would have beat him. I don't think they respect her.
Mitch might have won.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh,
They like Joe on that season. It's just
They like
I mean,
If Mitch made it to that final tribal, then he would have had to actually make the move, which means that maybe Mitch gets the vote.
Right,
I don't know.
Yeah,
That was
Mitch
Mitch's
makes the move. Go ahead, Alex.
Winning.
Go ahead, Alex.
No, I mean, I agree with a lot of what everybody has said. Joe is so interesting to me because it really is like on screen. It's like watching someone learn, like watch Survivor for the first time. You know, it's like I remember seeing season 45, and that was like the first time I'd ever really like sat down and watched a season of Survivor. And I'm like figuring it out in real time. Like, why wouldn't you just vote this person out? Oh, okay, I see why. Oh, wait, why did this person get blindsided? Oh, okay. And like he's played the game twice now, and I feel like he still isn't grasping just the very basics of Survivor. And it's like, to be honest, sometimes it's refreshing to be like, wow, this guy really doesn't know what he's doing. So he's a blank slate, right? And I think all the good players see him as that blank slate, and they're like, well, Cerie's worth, we'll babysit him because, it's worth having his vote because he'll pretty much do whatever she says because she knows how to play Survivor and he doesn't, right? And so it's very interesting to have those two levels of players juxtaposed against each other. Whether or not that's a good thing or not, I don't know. I mean, he made it to the final tribal 2 times, good for him. I think he has now a record for the most times like without receiving a vote, or there was like some sort of record that he had. And it's like he's memorable, maybe not for the reasons he wants to be memorable for, but I will give him some flowers for being like at least trying to blindside somebody this season. It's like baby's first blindside. Like, oh, good for you, Joe. It's like you didn't vote who you said you were going to vote for, and you were going through all this emotional peril. But ultimately, it didn't work out for him.
Joe didn't seem like Survivor was mentally safe for him. And I can think of a moment that Joe seemed like he might have been trying. Do you all remember when he was making the firefighters analogy or the firemen's analogy, and how they reacted, and he was like, well, I guess I won't say nothing then about that. I think at that point we lost Joe. Joe, and he said in interviews that that's a lot of time to spend on an island, being kind of isolated and having nothing but to think about your life and all of that. I don't want to diagnose them, although I could, because you all know I'm a therapist too. But I think it was some mental health things going on for Joe throughout the entire season. I think they protected us from it.
And he is a perfect loser. The second ever Survivor perfect loser. 0 votes and 0 votes to win. I do want to go through his awards one more time because I did miss one. He got 3 bottom tier votes, which is insane for a finalist. He got 1 vote to never play again, 2 votes for the most disappointing player, and he actually won the rivalry of the season. Congratulations to Joe and Rick. The rivalry of the season, Joe versus Rick. Moving on to number 11. Shout out to this person because I ranked them as number 14, but their average is a 9.6. They got 1 vote for the most improved. They got 1 vote for the most disappointing player, And they got 1 vote for the villain of the season, which came in last minute because the villain of the season was only 2 people out of 24 people, which is insane. Everyone was voting just 2 people. And then this person got 1 vote. So shouts out to this person, friend of Ben, Emily. Emily, shouts out. I liked Emily this season. I hate Emily this season, but I liked her this season. Like, she's so entertaining. So entertaining. So, you know, when someone makes you so mad and then they get out, like they get their comeuppance, like, how could you not like that? Like, shouts out Emily. She came here, she did what she was supposed to do, entertained us all. And the fact that she was at tribal council, the final tribal council, vouching for Joe, giving him his speech, and convincing me, oh, okay, Joe did play. He did actually do stuff. He just don't know that he did stuff. Like, shouts out to Emily. I liked her this season. Hated her, but liked her. Ben, talk about your friend.
I love Emily Flippin. Okay, friend might be a bit strong of a word, but I met Emily at a Blood on the Clock Tower convention, and I played like 3 or 4 games of Blood on the Clock Tower with her, and I just like felt like, yeah, like this is my kind of person. If I ever go on Survivor and they like ask me, who do you relate to most from Survivor, it would be Emily. And I know she's not the best game player. 11's right where I have her on my list as well, but I just find her so refreshing to watch and how unfiltered she is. And I think other players should know better than to tell her all of their secrets. I think she's a loyal ally. Just work with her and don't tell her everything, and it'll be fine, because you can trust that she'll be loyal to you. Just, she has a big lip, says a little bit too much, got in a little bit of trouble. I think she probably wasn't ever going to win the season, so I'm okay with her story ending where it did, so I didn't have to see her be a 0 vote finalist. Like, I don't know. I really enjoyed watching her. I would love to watch her again.
Colby.
Funny enough, you said that, Ben. I think I was just watching an interview the other day where it was like Emily, like, where she was saying she was actually happy to go when she went because she was starting to be worried that she was going to be dragged to the end as a 0 vote finalist. So she was like, yeah, I'm glad they got me out. I don't need to be at the end.
Shouts out to her.
Shouts out. I also have Emily at 11. I, low-key, she might be my most entertaining player this season. I loved Emily. Like, I thought it was so funny. She was so messy, and not only was she messy, but she had the girls mad on the island, on Twitter, on Instagram, everywhere. Everybody was mad, and I just loved it for her because what about it? Like Ben said, don't tell her. If you don't want your secrets told in Survivor, maybe you don't tell people your secrets in Survivor. That's just kind of how the game works. I was mad when she told D's secret because not too much on my girl D, but everybody else's secret, air them out. And I loved Emily, financial analyst. Flip it. Like, I'd love to see her again.
Oh my God, when I found out about that running joke of the financial, that was so hilarious. So I'm like, wait, this is real? But anyway, Alex, go ahead and talk about Emily.
Yeah, I think I was the person that put Emily as my most improved for the season. I did not like Emily when I first saw her on the screen in her original season, and but I really appreciated. Again, it comes back to awareness. I've mentioned this a couple of times, and I think that's something that I feel is a really high-ranking quality for a good Survivor player to have. And I feel like she was super aware of like her perception and her like situation within the tribe throughout the entire season. I mean, even to the bitter end where she was like, I know that it's going to be me this vote, so I got to figure out how to, like, you know, do something with Rick Devens. And even though it didn't end up working out, it still made for an interesting sort of episode and a story arc for her to kind of go out on. So I mean, I appreciated what she did. I love that she's always spilling the tea. You know, it's like you always gotta, like, a lot of people play messy and don't get away with it, but she got away with it for a lot of the season. So I gotta appreciate that. Yeah.
Katina?
Lover. Again, great entertainment value. It was like the real house people of Survivor. We need someone that's going to be messy. We need someone that you all know not to trust her. Like, I was literally talking back to the screen, like, why are you telling her? But I'm so glad you told her because she's gonna go tell Rick. She's gonna go tell somebody else. And she even told Rick. She even said about the idol. That's not an idol. I mean, but I loved everything about Emily. Some of the feedback that she was getting, you're right, Jacoby. They were mad, 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 mad. She did what she needed to do. She went out with a bang. I could appreciate all of that. And I watch her on Blood on the Clock Tower too, and she just seems to be that person. She's having fun. She was enjoying herself. I like that she was like, "Wait a minute, let me at least play my way up out of here," and she did. It was memorable. So I love Emily too.
She is harmless fun. She is
Yeah.
harmless fun. She let's not forget when everyone was emotional of the blood moon, Kobe leaving, and she's just sitting there like, all right, let's wrap this up.
She's just so
I love
good.
it.
And also, forever, might I say again, and Kobe has heard me say this, she is the true honor and integrity because she spoke the truth, everyone's truth, but the truth.
All right, so we will move on.
That was a mic drop. Mic drop for you.
Completely joking. Let's get us back. I was just joking, Katina. I'm glad you laughed.
No, you're good.
Top 10. We move on to the top 10. Shouts out to these people for making it in the top 10. Once we get to the top 5, it's going to be all awards. Just to let y'all know, all awards coming in the top 5 incoming. But top 10, this person has 0 awards. I ranked them number 16. Their average was an 8.9. It's the last winner, D. She messed up. D made a mistake on this, and it cost her the game. She got out for her mistake. She went with Rizzo. She didn't know Rizzo, and turned on Charlie. Went with Rizzo, and then what'd she do? She told Emily something. She forgot she told Emily something. Rizzo found out. She became messy, and she's not a messy character, so she couldn't keep up with the mess. She played her shot in the dark. She tried to stay. She has to blame herself for how she got out, and I'm sure she knows that. Alex, let's move on to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think D was, it was a little bit disappointing to see where she went out because I actually think like she was fairly well positioned, and yeah, she like, and I also think the edit really didn't do her much credit with kind of playing up her feud with Jonathan and things like that. Knowing now what we know about Jonathan and where he placed and everything. I was glad that she made the jury. It was so that she could be on our screens every week, on the jury. She was really killing that. But Mayor of Ponderosa. But I think really she doesn't have anyone to blame but herself. And I think she knew it too. So it's been fun to kind of see her do exit press and things like that. Because I'm sure she's disappointed, but to be honest, like, she knew what she did and got out for it. And that's just kind of, sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles, right?
Yep. Katina.
She's pretty. And I love her. I do love her. I was disappointed when she left, but I think she knew that she was leaving when she left too. And sometimes it takes one bad decision because I really wanted to see her more. I agree, Alex. I enjoyed her in the jury and her facial expressions. At the finale, she actually also tried to tell Jeff, and I know we'll might touch it later, that he was on at the wrong time. She tried to tell him, but Jeff didn't know what she was doing or didn't look at her. But I love Dee. I love Dee as a player. I will say I ranked her probably higher because of what I've known about her in the past. And she's probably one of the ones that I did. But yeah, Dee, my girl, wish she would. And I loved her standing up for herself when they were trying to tell her to go one way. And it was like, I think it was Jonathan that was like, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And she was like, no, we're not. And I think also a victim of edit was Dee's experience as well.
Colby.
All right. I'll try not to gush about Dee as much as I did about Savannah, but I love D even more. Take my love for Savannah and like multiply it by like 100,000 million. Like I remember the moment I fell in love with D watching her season, and I'm just like, this woman is amazing. Like she's what Survivor has been missing for years. I think she's real. I think she's a great player. I ranked her at 10. I actually don't, while I do think there were like clear missteps in her game, I think at the end of the day, she was a winner, the most dominant winner of the new era. And like with no missteps in her game, she was gonna go home sooner or later, realistically. So I can't really say she shouldn't or should have taken out Charlie. I agree with Katina that I liked that they wanted to take power back from the men. And we're like, no, we're not just going to do what Charlie and Jonathan want. We're going to make Charlie the plan, actually. I liked that move. I think her blowing up with Jonathan obviously helped get her gone, but I loved it because she was keeping it real then too. Because get out my face, Jonathan. Like, leave me alone. Go play your own game. Like, why are you over here messing with? Anyways, the woman that you are, one of my favorite Survivor winners of all time, and she did her thing, and I can't wait to see her again because she'll be back. I think production loves her. Jeff loves her. She was trying to help Jeff like at the finale, and I think she's just all around. People love her.
She's booked and busy. I think she'll be back as well. Ben, what's your thoughts on D?
I had D at 16, and I'm a bit surprised she made the top 10. I really wasn't very impressed by her game this season. I think, much like Savannah, she really only survived one tribal council where she was eligible to be voted out. She just happened to make it further in the season because she won more challenges, which is a valid part of the game. So I have her a bit higher than Savannah on my list, but ultimately her vote out didn't feel like it was because she was a winner, and it felt like it was more because of her actions on the island. But I still enjoyed her on the season, and definitely the fact that she made it as far as she did as a winner is still pretty impressive.
Number 9. I'm so surprised that this person is number 9. I put them as number 9, but I didn't think that the 17 other people would rank this person so good. Their average placement is 8.2. They got 2 votes for most likely to play again. Shouts out, one of the fan favorites of the season. When this cast first got released, I was excited for 3 people: Rick, Devin, Suri, and Genevieve. Shouts out to Genevieve. Colby, why don't you talk about Genevieve first?
I just kind of hate when this happens because I feel like going into the season, I loved Genevieve. And because of the way that not only the editing happened, the game happened, the way that the fandom has taken this whole situation, I almost feel like I have to choose a side, and I've chosen not to side with Genevieve. So I'm just going to make that clear right now. Sorry, Genevieve, you can still be that girl. You can still be Canadian mother. I think from my perspective of the edit, knowing who actually wins at the end, I don't think people are getting what they're supposed to get from the edit, which is that Genevieve kind of is the villain. Like she's running around telling everybody, vote this person, vote this person, vote this person. And that's all we're seeing from her edit. And obviously there was more to her game, but I think that would have gotten her cooked sooner than later. I do think the Blood Moon obviously screwed her, but I don't think she makes it much further than that because she's running around trying to tell everybody to vote out Aubrey, and they're like, girl, why are you trying to control us? And that's how I feel about Genevieve. I'm team Aubrey.
100% couldn't disagree more. Genevieve was like, she was twist screwed more than probably anyone else. Probably not more than anyone else, but definitely twist screwed. My hot take is that if the Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol didn't exist, Aubrey would have left during the blood moon. And I disagree that people thought that about Genevieve. Genevieve was well aligned. It's just that, unfortunately, well, to this cast, they voted out her. They voted out her because she's a woman. Let's be honest. On the Alliance, they're like, all right, we can't get Aubrey. Let's get Genevieve. That's just how that goes, unfortunately. But shouts out Genevieve. Love her. Ben, you can go next.
Well, I wasn't going to talk about Aubrey, but I will say Genevieve managed to make a 5-person majority alliance while Aubrey was seemingly just sitting on the side. maybe talking to Angelina. So I think Genevieve was in a great spot. Then her closest ally gets medevacked at the beginning of the game. Then Q, who I think was maybe her second closest ally, loses his vote. She gets swapped to another tribe. She finds 2 idols, can't keep either one of them, which my hot take for the season is that the Billie Eilish Boomerang idol is the worst idol twist they have ever done on Survivor. I think it was a horrible game mechanic, not just because she didn't get to keep them, but also because once you give them up, the other players have no incentive to ever play them because they can't give them away. Mm-hmm. And then she draws a rock that sends her to a random grouping with the one person that's actively trying to vote her out and people that are like real life friends outside the game. She got horrible luck on the season. And she also entered the season, I think, as probably one of the biggest new era threats. And that reputation didn't even hurt her. It was just the bad luck that got her out of the game. So I looked at my list again. I actually have Stephanie at 9, and I put Genevieve at number 8 because I think she was playing an excellent game and just had bad luck.
Agree. Katina.
Kobe, it is possible to like 2 people at the same time and not pick a side. There was Biggie and Tupac. There was Drake and Kendrick. Although we know Kendrick and Tupac were the ones. All right, Gemini power. However, I didn't like Aubrey. She was female Joe in the beginning and 100%. Just sulked around, and Genevieve was making moves. She won 2 idols. She was playing the actual game. It was Billie Eilish and the hands of the fans that they tried to feed into us being the reason that we didn't get to see her do her thing. Now, Dawson said in the chat, and I agree with him on this, the only thing that is unforgivable is her liking Zach Brown. Enough said.
She was still here with that? Damn.
No, I think that comment was about D. I don't think Genevieve had.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was about D. Okay, then we love Genevieve. I'm sorry. That was about D. I stepped away. Okay. Well, that's enough.
I really wish that Genevieve didn't come back this season because now I feel like I know she got 2 votes to likely come back, and I hope she comes back, but maybe she could be on her Aubrey arc now and come back and win. I
don't know if she would want to come back. To be
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I wish she did.
Especially now that it's the open era, right? You know, if we're gonna have even more twists for someone who is totally burned by twists, like why would you ever come back? You know, it's like,
right.
Oh, I'm just gonna get more of what I hated from my own season. 100%. Like, that sucks. You know,
100%.
So I just I don't know. I just felt bad for her. Really, I mean. The whole time it was, playing up this Genevieve Aubrey, rivalry or something like that. And it just, from the exit press, it seems like it was even more like than what they showed on TV, which is pretty crazy. But I don't know. I just, of all the people that got, screwed by the game. I heard someone compare like this new era of Survivor and the way that they had all these twists in season 50 feels more like a Squid Games than it does like Survivor, where you're surviving the game itself rather than surviving the players in the game. And I feel like that is Genevieve's story 100%. Whereas it's like she did not survive. She was trying to outwit, outplay, outlast, and she did that to the other players, but not to the game itself, which is ultimately what screwed her over.
What season was she in before?
She was 47.
With Rachel and Andy and Sam.
Yeah.
It was that
I
was
missed that one.
It was a good season.
Oh, you need to go watch it. It was a great season.
Yeah, shouts out to her. And also she came second place for the rivalry of the season. Aubrey versus Genevieve, 33.3%. Charlie versus Rizzo, 16.7%, and 50% was Rick Devens versus Joe. But moving on to number 8 on this list. This person averaged 7.6. They got 1 bottom level nomination. They were once ranked number 24 by somebody. Unbelievable. I ranked this person number 4 on my list. They got 2 votes for the most improved and 12 votes. 72.2% for the villain of the season. It is our runner-up, Jonathan, Mr. Exit Press himself, Jonathan. I will let you talk about him first, Katina.
Jolly Green Jonathan. What can I say? Um, I didn't hide my hate for him. I'll say that. But I ranked him higher because I believe he was the most improved and that he played a good game. I didn't like him, but he played a good game. He won idols. He was social enough. He sometimes didn't know when to shut up or when to or took it far in some cases, but and and he wasn't likable to me, but people liked him. And he was a threat all the way to the end. Um, I think he did a great job. I think it was himself that got him in trouble. Um, but I will say one of my favorite moments where I actually did laugh with a scene with him is when they showed him in the finale lying on the beach when he did that thing and was just
Oh
showing
God.
his ribs. I laughed. I laughed at his personality showing in part of the finale, but I was not a fan, but he played a good game.
I agree. Ben.
I think Jonathan. I have Jonathan at number 4. I think he played a great
I
game.
think I did too.
Twinning.
I-
We're twinning right now.
Yeah, a lot of. I think I voted for him for biggest villain and most improved. I will say the one thing that, for me, the thing that keeps Jonathan from being like A+ tier for me is just because of who he is. He kind of has a free pass to the merge, which again, credit to him for like being as jacked as he is. But no one's ever really threatened by him early on. So because of that, he already has a lot of built-in agency that he can use, and he doesn't maybe have to work as hard for his positioning. But strategically, I think he made almost all the right decisions, and he had the correct read on the jury, which was that for him to have a chance, he had to sit next to Joe and Rizzo. And I think Rizzo also had that same correct read. For him to have a chance, he had to sit by Jonathan and Joe, and they almost made that happen. As annoying as it was to watch as a fan, to see all of my favorites go like 9th through 4th, seeing the 3 people I like the least at the end. He made the moves he needed. He made the moves he needed to make to give himself a chance. He got to the final 4 where him and Joe were the 2 strongest challenge competitors, so he had a very good chance of getting to the final 3 he wanted. And it ultimately didn't happen for him, but he still managed to get to the end and had 3 strong, maybe 2 strong of advocates on the jury who all voted for him. So I do think he played a great game, but socially, lots of mistakes. So he's at number 4, I think. The 3 people I have higher than him, I was a bit more impressed by.
Yeah, I had him at number 4 as well. I did vote for him for the biggest villain. I agree. I think he had a social game at one point. Like he was aligned with a lot of people. It's just who he is. He started like being super cocky when he won immunity challenges. When he knows Tiffany is going home. Like, to be honest, Jonathan, you didn't even have to win. Just Tiffany had to not win. So do you really got to gloat that much that you just won? This poor girl's going home. Like. So his social game was good until it wasn't. And like you said, he has a free pass to the merge. There was a world where he could have won this season. There's a world. And I like what Aubrey said. Aubrey said that he played like her and she played like Michelle this season. So maybe we'll see Jonathan back again and maybe he'll have that Aubrey art. Kobe.
Jonathan. I think I ranked Jonathan at 5. I liked his game. It wasn't bad. It was cool. It was alright. He did what he needed to do to get to the end. He didn't do what he needed to do to win, which seems to be a trend for like a lot of these like bigger men who like Vince says, almost it's like they carry their tribe through the pre-merge, but really it's their tribe carrying them through the pre-merge because you're not gonna always win out. And they're like, we're gonna keep you around because you're big and strong. And I have a hard time. I think he played an all right strategic game. I think he obviously is a good physical game. His social game clearly wasn't that well off. I do have to ask myself, why weren't people targeting Jonathan? Why weren't people saying his name when and it's not like you're just somebody else. No, you're this big hulking green jolly giants. You're 6 foot something. Everybody can see you all around this beach. Why does nobody care that you're still in the game? Probably because you can't win. Um, and yeah, but I thought he played an all right game. But to be completely honest with you, I have been on the hill that Jonathan is somebody who cannot win Survivor. I think there are people in this world, like Jeff said at the start of 46, who can't win Survivor. And I think Jonathan is just one of them because I do think he really did improve his game. I think he played for Jonathan as who Jonathan is. He played probably the perfect game that Jonathan could play. I don't think he could do anything else. So I don't think he needs to come back. I don't think we need to see anything more. Like, you've done everything you can do and you got second place. And I love that for you.
Yeah,
I disagree. I was gonna say I disagree with that. I think if Rizzo's sitting in the final three instead of Aubrey, Jonathan has like a 50 to 60% chance of winning the game.
I think he has a better chance at winning against Rizzo. I think during the season, I would have completely said yes, Jonathan wins. But I feel like since the season has ended and like hearing more end game press, and obviously it could be like the season just ended, so people could say whatever they want to say now. It kind of feels like Jonathan simply didn't have that respect. And then I also think about the fact that you get to FTC, if Stephanie, Coach, and Chrissy are still riding Jonathan into the sunset, are we like, oh yeah, is everybody else like, yeah, oh my God, Stephanie, you ate that. You're right. He is the total package. Yeah. Chrissy, girl, you're right. Yeah, we finna vote for Jonathan. No,
that's
I think he's throwing people off.
I think he's the front runner going into Final Tribal Council, and I think Rizzo does a much better job than him at Final Tribal, so I could see the votes going either way.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a toss-up, but I agree with that point that Jonathan going in would probably have it, and then after FTC, it wouldn't be looking as strong.
I agree. I think it'll be a toss-up too, but I think if I had to pick, I do think Jonathan probably does win over Rizzo, just because he already has 3 votes, and then at that point, who wouldn't be there? Aubrey. He might have Aubrey.
I think Rizzo has 3 votes. Sorry.
I don't think he gets Ozzy. If you think Rizzo's getting Ozzy,
I think Rizzo gets Suri, Tiff, and D. I think those are his 3 votes, but I don't know who the rest of the group votes for.
Yeah,
maybe like Aubrey votes for Rizzo too.
Aubrey would have voted for Rizzo.
A very similar game, which is why she wanted him gone. So I think that's another vote on his behalf too.
I think Aubrey does respect gameplay though, like really good gameplay, and he got rid of a lot of people. He was responsible for a lot of people getting out.
Who, Jonathan?
Yeah.
I disagree with that. I think Jonathan has an overcompensated mind about people he got rid of, respectfully. Like, even with the one thing that always comes to my head is when it comes to the Ozzy thing, and even not only that, if you watch, there are several episodes in a row where Jonathan's like, okay, I like that idea, but let's go talk to Suri. Or, okay, I like that idea, but let's go talk to Rizzo. And it kind of feels less like, let me present this to my allies, and more like, do I have permission, Mother Suri, to make this move happen or no? Do I have permission to do that or no? Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it felt like. No. You know, like he didn't have any actual ownership over his own game and moves.
I feel like
Alex.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like the thing with Jonathan is he's an example of what happens when a villain is edited like a hero. I think you can see kind of by his exit press, like, you know, he never thought that he ever could possibly have a chance that he would lose, right? You know, he was completely like blinded by the fact that he was going to win this whole thing. And some of the comments that he said and some of the things that have come out from Tiff and some of the other players, you know, of like what he said and how he acted on the island, like makes us as an audience understand that really he's a villain. Like he's a Russell Hantz, you know, he's like, he is that villain, but the show edits him as if he is this golden boy, this hero of the new era. Right. So it's a very interesting conundrum where it's like Russell Hantz is a villain and was edited as a villain. Right. We knew what to think about Russell Hantz before the season even came out. Right. You know, but, you know, for Jonathan, it's like we're being told that Jonathan is this very, you know, he's changing his game. He's doing all these strategic things. He's like getting out these votes. He's the swing vote in these certain tribals. But like, how much of that is real and how much of that is fed to us? I felt like, you know, I still had Jonathan ranked up here. I still think he was a very, you know, he was an important scene partner for a lot of other strategic players in the season. I think he was the season would not be what it is without what Jonathan was. But I also think that like a lot of what we know about Jonathan felt like it was force fed to us by editing, in the same way that some of the female contestants were taken away from us, right? It's like he was eating all that stuff that was taken away from some of the storylines that we wanted to see, right? And I think that was the biggest issue.
Okay, moving on to number 7. This person, I have them ranked number 10, but their average was actually a 7.0. Good job to this person. 3 votes for the most improved, 1 vote for the hero of the season, 1 vote for the most disappointing player of the season. Any guesses? Who's this? Who's number 7? It is Ozzy. 100% is Ozzy. Katina, go ahead and talk about Ozzy.
All I have to say about Ozzy is his last day there. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I won't even take up all the space. That was another one that I was literally like talking to the TV. Like, I don't want to call anybody an idiot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Next person.
Ozzy, to me, I agree with you. Like, how could you not just talk about his last day there? He did so good. He was most improved for a long time. He was doing an amazing job. Twist screw, guys. Will we say that? I think when he got with the twist and there was only like 5 people for the vote, I think he kind of forgot who he was. Like, he forgot like the legend of Ozzy. Play the idol. Like, the shirt, some people thought like Jeff giving him that shirt was kind of insulting because Sari just got the award, and like Stephanie got told you're the first badass woman, which I think that's kind of rude to say to her. Just forget everybody else. But Ozzy got a t-shirt that said play your idol. Some people thought that was insulting, but I think he forgot who he was, and he should have played the idol. Because let's not blame Rizzo for not telling him. Let's blame Ozzy for not being self-aware in that moment, especially after having a dream. But yeah, I don't want to take too much time. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, not to beat a dead horse. It's all about awareness, right? And I think like Ozzy, what I really appreciated about Ozzy this season was that he tried. He tried to be different. And ultimately he did not succeed, but he tried, and I feel like some of those old school players, like they just came in and played the same game that they play every time, and Ozzy aligning himself with Sari, and there's so much of like what could have been if he plays that idol and doesn't go home and Aubrey goes home, and that totally changes the dynamic of the season. But I mean, that's why you stay, that's why you watch Survivor, because you can yell at your screen and be mad at people for not doing things that you totally saw come from a mile away. But in the moment, it's so difficult to assess those things. And I think that like Ozzy gets a lot of credit because he's a beloved player, Survivor, but ultimately it's a lack of awareness that was his downfall.
But you know what, Alex? He was aware enough to know he needed to align with Sari.
Exactly.
And if I give him credit for anything, he got over the past mess and said, hey, I need to do this. Now, he needed her probably more than he thought, but I don't want to end on him being an idiot. He was smart enough to choose to align himself with Sari. And listen, didn't macho man himself out of it. He paid attention to what she had to say.
100%. Colby?
Yeah, I think Ozzy's best move this season was aligning with Sari out of the gate. And staying as close to her as humanly possible. Now, do I think that he should have played her game for her? Probably not. I think there were moves that he made that benefited her game a lot more than they probably benefited his own. Like, I understand why Sari would want to get rid of like a Coach and Chrissy. I don't understand why Ozzy would want to get rid of a Coach and Chrissy. To me, it's still not really making sense. It's hard because I think he should have played the idol, like obviously, like play the damn idol. I think if you're going into a twist, I've always said, when I play these like ORG games, LRG games, when I go into a twist that I'm like, this is a dangerous twist. If I have an advantage, best believe I'm gonna play it 100% of the time, always. I don't care if it's an advantage that literally does nothing. Guess what, Jeff? I'm playing my does nothing advantage to survive this twist. Because why would you not? At the same time, I find it hard to completely bash him because his basic line of thinking wasn't wrong. I'm good with Joe. I'm good with Rizzo. I should be good here, period. He's not wrong. With that in yourself, you should have the numbers to survive. Unfortunately, you're Ozzy. And like Forever said, he forgot himself. He forgot who he was. He forgot that you're literally the comp beast and you have an idol in your pocket. Like, you don't just have an idol, brother. If you don't play your idol, you can still win immunity. We don't want you anywhere around. So, yeah, play your idol next time, Ozzy.
100%. Ben, close us
Yes, the last time I was on here, I spent an entire minute explaining why Ozzy was other than Suri, the best to never win. And then, of course, like 2 weeks later, he has to go on and not play his idol. But I'm going to stand by what I said. I think Ozzy is a great Survivor player with one flaw, which is he has a slightly big ego. And like Katina said, he knew that the one way to work around that was to align with Suri. And he was screwed over by the fact that he wasn't with her. Now, he wasn't adaptable enough to deal with not having her, which means he, of course, isn't the greatest. So I have him at number 7 on my list. He should have played the idol but for me, like, I guess for me, the thing about him not playing his idol that frustrated me wasn't the fact that he didn't play it. It was the fact that he didn't seem to consider that he might be getting votes. I actually think it's very reasonable if you're the biggest threat or second biggest threat in the game with 9 alive, like 9 players in the game. You're going to need your idol eventually. Maybe you want to take the risk and not play it once, so you can play it later on. Like, I get that. It's just that we didn't even seem to see him comprehend that. And then when he goes to Aubrey and like tells her everything, like, that was the bad gameplay for me. Like, the not playing the idol is a decision I understand. So that moved him down a couple spots on my list, but I still really enjoyed him on the season. And he was positioned very well up until that point.
Yeah, and hey, not only did he align with Suri, but let's not forget he was really tight with Emily. He was tight with Emily, like unlikely alliance there. He did really good.
I think I was the only person in America saying, "Don't play the idol, Ozzy. Don't play the idol."
That's true. That's true.
I was like, "Dream, you had a dream. What are you thinking?"
That's true. Moving on to number 6. This person was my number 3. I thought this person did really good. I thought they were twist screwed. They got 1 vote for hero this season, and they are average 6.2. This is Christian Hubicki. Ben, why don't you talk about Christian?
Number 3 is crazy, I think. Well, but I'll explain. So I think
twist screwed.
I don't know. I think the best Survivor players are good at like the tactical aspect of getting numbers together for a vote, and then they're also good at like seeing the big picture and understanding like who are the threats, who do I need to keep around. Aubrey's really good at the second, which is keeping the threats around in front of her. Christian's really good at the first, which is the tactical moves, but I don't think he thinks about the long-term implications of his moves. I have him ranked at number 10. It was really impressive the way he was able to get Mike out of the game, but I don't understand how that move benefited his game in the long run. And I think a lot of the decisions he made, while impressive at the time, elevated his threat level so much that regardless of what the twist was, he was always going to be going sometime around the early merge. But I loved watching him. Super entertaining. Another Blood on the Clock Tower player, so definitely was rooting for him. But I don't think the twist is necessarily what did him in. I think his own increasing of his threat level is what sent him out just like the first time.
Colby.
I have Christian at 8. I don't believe he was twist screwed. I think he kind of cooked himself. I mean, they show it in the edit pretty clearly. And yes, it could be edited, but I mean, everybody knows if you go and say to Suri, "Hey, I want to go for your number 1 ally," you're probably cooked anyways. I think him voting for himself made it easier for everybody to be like, okay, I think that only swayed the people who were maybe still undecided, but I think it was pretty decided that Christian was going. I loved him though this season. I thought he played a good game up until that point. I actually liked the Mike White move of it all. I agree with him. I think going into the merge with 3 David versus Goliath players was kind of dumb. and maybe you aren't the one targeted, but like there's only 3 of y'all, so it's a 33% that you are the one who's going to be targeted. Why would they target Angelina? I don't know. So it's probably going to be a 50% chance that it's going to be you or Mike who goes. And then Mike has all those connections. So I think it was smart to do that. Honestly, I think it was just bad for him to go to Suri and say Aussie's name. I think that what did him in. I think he would have been gone sooner or later, but that's definitely what did him in my opinion.
Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Sort of what's being said. I think, I just remember thinking in the episodes when he gets Mike White out and then they get Angelina out, right before the merge. It's just like everybody's going to go back on the same beach and they're going to talk about how Christian was the one that got all these people out. And to me, that is just very low. Like it's just like not being able to stand, like Ben said, the bigger picture of like, hey, we're going to merge soon. So I need to make sure that when we go back to the beach, they're talking about Mike White being the one that's driving, and they're talking about, somebody else and not my name, right? When we get back on the beach, because, I don't have, 6 allies that I can shield myself with, right? So, whether I, feel like if they were going to get someone out from David versus Goliath, maybe it should have been Angelina first, and then maybe you leave Mike White so that he can take some heat from you later on. I don't know that Mike White was really getting any heat at that point. We can talk about these things all day long, but I really enjoyed his narration of the season. I think that's why I ranked him higher. I think, it was fun to see the season through his eyes, and it made it sad when he had, when he went home. I also think that I don't know. I kind of agree. I don't know that he was necessarily twist screwed, but I do think that the twist that he was given was, I just hated it. It was not, I feel like a good advantage or a good twist is something that you can see it and exactly, all right, I gotta do this thing. But the fact that he had to go back to camp and tell everybody he lost his vote, I was just like, man, okay, just nail in the coffin. But the thing to be to talk about before that was like his name was already being thrown out there before he even went on that journey. So I think he was gonna be kind of screwed either way, and that was just what did it for him.
So yeah, I loved Christian on this season. I didn't vote for him for hero of the season, but shouts out to who did. He was the main character for the first half of the season. He did a really good job, and I know like you say like, oh, he shouldn't have voted out his David versus Goliath. I don't think he should have either. I mean, Kobe, you said that he should have, which you made a great point on why
the Mike move was good. I think the Angelina move, you're doing too much. Why are you taking out both of them? Now you're just taking out your own members. I think that was a bad move. But Mike, I stand by that was a good move.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think y'all make some good points, but I do think he was twist screwed because he didn't even get a chance. He didn't get a fighting chance. He had to tell everybody, I'll vote for myself. Like normally you get to like at least fight, make something up. Also, I'm sorry, this video has went over time, and we have like 5 people left. So I'll stop talking. Katina, give your opinion on Christian.
I appreciate that he came in ready to make moves. He had a tremendous amount of confidence, big D energy. I love me some Christian. I do. I felt like he could have made the choice in regards to Mike a little later. I understand it happening, but a little later because Mike and him were aligned. I mean, but I did enjoy Mike being blindsided. So he was entertaining. He was on it. I like that he came to play and play hard. He was playing checkers though instead of chess. He was not looking at the end game. So I agree with what everyone said, even Kobe. But I think it just could have happened a little bit later. Think he did a little bit too soon.
Moving on to number 5. We're in the top 5. The top 5 players of Survivor 50. This person got an average ranking of 5.61. Top level, number 1 ranked. He got 4 votes for the hero of the season. 1 vote to play again. It is Rick Devens. I forgot. There you go. Rick Devens. Shouts out to Rick Devens. Alex, you can talk about him first.
Oh my gosh. I heard someone say that Rick Devens, they're kind of grooming him to become the next host when Probst retires. And I don't know how I feel about that necessarily, but I do think like he's good TV. And we love him, and we love that he causes chaos. And I actually really loved kind of seeing him and Emily and Christian kind of play off each other. My only, sort of complaint with that is like, I kind of like, you could have seen that alliance, I guess, from a mile away when I think when the casting came out. So if anything, I would have loved to see him kind of try to get some unexpected partnerships there in that season. But you gotta love someone who just plays by the seat of their pants all the way. One of my favorite Survivor players is Tyson. It's the same way. It's just there for the fun of it. Just there, to like, there for a good time, not a long time. So gotta love Rick Devens. Gotta love the showman, the greatest showman right there. That's Rick Devens.
I love Rick Devens. When this cast got announced, he was one of the top 3 people I was most looking forward to seeing. And I think the storyline, or like what's it called? Foreshadowing on episode 1, when he said, I'm not gonna be looking for idols this season. And then we see him with the idol move of hiding in that tribal, and then like flipping the coin and getting an idol. Like Rick Devens this season solidify himself as a legend of Survivor, in my opinion. I loved every second of him. And like, I know some people say like he's not playing a winning game, like he's just there, but he literally said it. He said, my wife told me to go have fun. She said, I don't care if you win nobody, go have fun. And like, he's amazing TV. And to be honest, Alex, I disagree. I would love to see him replace Jeff. I would love to see Rick Devens every day on the show. Kobe, go ahead and talk about Rick Devens.
I think I don't remember, I had Rick Devens like 9 or something like that. I find Rick Devens entertaining sometimes, other times not. I don't have too many thoughts on Rick. I did vote for him as hero of the season because you won $1 million. Like, how can you not be the hero? Like,
right, obviously, that's true.
I will say what I like about Rick, the biggest thing is that he's a risk taker, and like he doesn't care the implications or like the backlash of any type of move. If it sounds like fun to him, he'll do it. So big ups to Rick.
He's so great. All right, Ben, talk about Rick Devens.
Yeah, Rick was number 5 on my list as well. And yeah, he was just so much fun. I love how hard he played, even if hiding an idol at Tribal Council is not helpful at all. Like, it's just enjoyable to watch. And one thing I'll add, I did also vote for Rick versus Joe for the rivalry of the season. And the reason I like that rivalry so much is you can tell that it was a real rivalry based on fundamental differences in who they are as people versus some of the other ones that felt like they were played up for the cameras. And I love that neither one of them was really willing to change who they were for the other person. At times, I actually agreed with Joe. I more often agreed with Rick and their dynamic. But regardless, he was just so fun to watch. And yeah, he was a big threat. I actually think maybe Cerise should have kept him around a little bit longer as a shield for her. But 100%. Luck was in his favor as well. He was saved by the Mr. Beast twist. So I don't think any higher than 5 really made sense. Good spot for him.
Katina?
I love Rick. If he becomes the next host, I will take my old ass and sign up for Survivor. I swear, I love everything about him. He was very entertaining. He's the type of player that I like seeing play these games. They're not necessarily to win. I know that's the end result, but to have fun while you're playing. I don't know if I put him as the hero, but he saved Survivor 50 because it would have been, it already with him being there had its moments, but he was something to watch. He played it up. He had fun. You could tell he had the privilege of having fun, and he could do no wrong. No wrong at all.
Love him. Love Rick Devens.
Now I'm rooting for him to be host just so I can see Katina on Survivor.
I will be 99 and a half years old and I will sign up still just to meet Rick Devens. You all know he liked one of my comments, right?
Number 4. Oh, so Rick Devens, by the way, won the rivalry of the season as well. So shouts out to him. Number 4, this person averaged 4.7, one top tier ranking, just like Rick Devens had one. This person had one top tier ranking. One vote for hero of the season. They won the most improved person of the season with 7 votes. They got 4 votes for most likely to play again. Y'all already know it's Tiffany. Shouts out to Tiffany. Ben, talk about Tiffany first.
Tiffany was great. I think the thing that was most impressive to me about Tiffany on the season is I remember when the cast was first getting leaked, people are like, this cast is great or this cast is not great. Why is Tiffany there? Which I disagreed with. Tiffany was incredible on 46. She had so much good content and she ran that pre-merge. But people were surprised to see her. And the fact that she came into the season with like the lowest threat level or like worst reputation of everyone and then became such a big threat that the entire rest of the cast felt the need to team up in a challenge just to try and get her out of the game, which she then still won the challenge, by the way, shows that she really did a lot of good stuff on the season. I don't know if like she maybe wasn't the most likely to win just because it was a harder path for her to get there, but she was amazing in the challenges. She was incredible socially. Her jury management was really good. I think if she gets to the final 3, she does win the vote. So yeah, I had her at number 6, but I'm happy with her at number 4 as well.
I had her ranked at number 5. I did have her ranked as the most improved. I think the reason why people were like a lot like shocked that she was there is because like she was the lowest placed person from previous seasons. Like she got 8th place though. Like it's not very like high up there, but she's still great. And like you said, you said it perfectly. Like a lot of people were like, why is she here? And then she became like a huge threat. Like great job. And shame on Survivor for not editing this lady for so long. Because like once it got down to like the final 5 or even sooner, like final 8, when she was like doing so good, or maybe final 10, I still never thought she was gonna win because of how she was edited in the beginning. But if they would have just edited her better in the beginning, like she's so good, and I definitely think she'll be back. Shouts out to her. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. Katina, you can talk about Tiffany next.
I think one big thing that Tiffany did, the queen, she outwitted, outlasted, and outplayed everyone that said that she should not be here. She went at the finale. She got everybody stood up while we were watching it. Everyone loved on her. And I appreciated her being able to have an ending like that. She was a physical threat. She was a social threat. She had her faces and her moments that tickled me. I love that she even had her podcast throughout, because that was part of the reason. In the beginning, we were like, oh, she has a podcast. She's not making it to the end. She's talking about this every week. So I loved even the fact that she kept us engaged and wanting to see her even outside of Survivor. And she could do no wrong. I have very political views about this season and about why things that happened with her. And I'll save them because we're out of time. But those of you that heard me. And I just love her. Enjoyed watching her, felt proud of her, could definitely relate to her personally. And she was everything. And I love to see that people are giving her flowers.
Shouts out to Tiffany and Katina. Shouts out to Katina. She went to the finale. So when she said people were standing up clapping, like they were standing up in the building clapping for Tiffany when they brought Tiffany out. So shouts out to Katina. Kobe, what did you think of Tiffany's game this season?
I love Tiffany Nicole so much. From her preseason on 46 to her preseason on 50. Like, I just love Tiffany. The reason why I love Tiffany is I love when there's a player who, like, reminds me of home. And I think a lot of people have that feeling, but, like, Tiffany feels like one of my homegirls. Like, I can see myself texting Tiffany, like, what, girl? Like, Tiffany just feels like somebody who was put on Survivor for me. So I love watching Tiffany on the screen. I wish she would have gotten a better edit because yeah, like I told so many people, like I'm watching with my friends at the finale, like, oh, I want Tiffany to win. I'm telling them, babe, Tiffany's not winning. Why? Have you not? Did we not watch the same season? Look at her edit. And I think that it was such a missed opportunity for the editors because everybody went into the finale night knowing who won. Like it wasn't rocket science out of the
Yep.
and I think that's also based on edit. Whereas if they would have given Tiffany the edit that she deserved, the edit that she earned, we would have went into that finale night like, oh my god, who knows? It's a toss-up. Like I could have actually rooted for Tiffany to win. And I agree with you, Katina. I think there's like underlying reasons as to why my good sis doesn't get the edit that she deserves. And even now, the edit that she got, and there's people online slandering her, calling her bitter and this and that, saying they don't want to see her back. And I just think y'all are stupid. And if Tiffany doesn't get a call back, I don't know what the Survivor producers, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. They need to give up the show at this point.
Right.
Well said, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, everything they said. I think Tiffany is the hero that Jonathan was edited to be. Tiffany deserved the hero edit, even though she didn't win the season. And I mean, she was half of a puzzle piece away from making the final four, which would have been the final three, which would have been a win. If she goes up against any of those boys, I think she wins, And it's just, she reminds me of old school Survivor in the way that she competes in the challenges. Like she 100% gives it her all. She's never dogging it. She's never not trying. She's always like, and especially in that challenge when all the other players were working against her and she just like proved them all wrong. I was just like, she's such a fun character to cheer for. Like, why aren't you giving us more of her? It's like, it's just, and especially after all of the amazing confessionals that she had in the finale and like before the finale, like, with Snake Ass Aubrey and like all of these like amazing quotables and moments, like she probably said all of those things early on pre-merge and we just never got to see any of it. I'm like, release the tapes, it's like, we got to see. She's just a fun player to watch. And she's such a good combination of like what a new era Survivor player can be, which is like, you're good at challenges, you're good socially, you're funny, you're likable, you're a hero. And we just weren't given that. It's just terrible.
Well said. Moving on to number 3. Number 3 and number 2, super close, just less than 0.05 off. They got 3.1 average, 2 top level rankings. I had them as my number 6. They got 44%, 8 votes, most likely to play again, 1 vote for hero of the season. Shouts out Rizzo, Riz God, baby. My thoughts on him was he did really good. I liked him a lot. I felt bad that he wasn't feeling well towards the middle of the season and lost so much weight that the producers had to step in and be like, you need to eat something. But I think he did good. And I was really happy to see him align with Suri and Ozzy. I think that trio will go down like in history. Like it was so fun and so like unlikely for him to be with them. It was fun. And he voted against Suri and she was definitely not bitter about it at all, like the opposite of Ozzy. So he voted her out when he thought he needed to and she was fine with it. She knew she wasn't going to win this season. She said it now. She said, yeah, I knew I wasn't going to win. I was surprised I made it so far, but so Rizzo taking her out, I think he did it the right way. And I do think that he had a chance to win if he sat next to the right people. Shouts out Rizzo. Ben.
Rizzo was number 1 on my list, which I knew was going to be a hot take. And I think if you told me like before season 49, especially that at any point in season 50, I would be rooting for Rizzo to win the season, I would not have believed you because he was so annoying in that preview. And that's the only thing the entire cast knew about him. So then when he got to his pre-merge tribe, not only was he on the season with people who wanted to vote him out. He was specifically put on a tribe with Colby and Stephanie, probably to piss them off. And within like 2 days, all of a sudden, Colby's like, you know what? I like the guy. And he gets brought into the alliance. And then when they swap, he's back on the bottom and manages to get these people like Dee and Camilla to flip on the person, Charlie, who they know in the real world, just to work with him. He gets Sari, who in the preseason says, I just want to vote this Rizzo out first because you can't trust anyone named Rizzo. He's her second closest ally. And then when he gets to the merge, he has an idol. He has an alliance with Ozzy and Sari. He apparently has an alliance with Joe, Jonathan, and Aubrey. Like, he's pretty protected from every direction. And I think, like we've discussed, he knew exactly what he needed to do to have a chance to win, which was sit in the end with Jonathan and Joe. So as a fan of Ozzy and Sari, it was frustrating seeing him vote them out. But I also know if I was in his spot, I would have probably done the same thing. And while I still think Jonathan might beat him in the end, he played the only game he could, in my perspective, to have a shot to win the game. So with $2 million on the line, I have to respect it.
One more thing I have to say, because in order for him to have a shot at winning the game, I do think he shouldn't have been so lazy around camp. I do think he should have attempted to make fire, because if he did make that fire, then I mean, Jonathan would have been out. So it would have been Aubrey. Oh, he still loses. But still.
Yeah, once Aubrey wins immunity, he's screwed. His only chance is if Aubrey goes out.
But still, he should have learned how to make fire and not been so lazy around camp. But I can't say I wouldn't have done the same thing if I was there. Alex.
Yeah, I mean, shout out Riz God. He, like Ben said, he played the only game that he could have, I think, to make it as far as he did. I think I would love to see Riz God come back on a season, but not for like another 10 years. I want him to, get into his 30s. I want him to like put on 50 pounds. I want him to like play a sport. And then come back to Survivor, right? It's like, I just want, like, Riz God will not win Survivor until he can win one challenge. Okay. He doesn't need to win every challenge, but he needs to win one challenge. Like, he needs to be able to, or be in the thick of it. Like, he was never even sniffing an immunity challenge in any of those. And obviously, he had some, things, health reasons and stuff like that. So I don't blame him. I mean, and he was been on the island for like 50 days, so it's like, of course he's completely spent, but like, he needs to be able to like win one challenge if he wants to win the game. And so I think strategically, at least he is maybe the most aware person of this, one of the most aware people on the island. And the fact that he was able to like get Coach to bring him in, just randomly, and be able to like talk to Coach head on and be like, we don't slay dragons at camp, we slay them at tribal. It's like all of those, like, he had so many good sound bites, and I really kind of appreciate what he's doing, but I think he just needs that, couple of years of maturity to as like a human being, not even as a Survivor player, to like be able to win the game. And I think that's the only thing that he's missing, in something that he could have never had this season.
Katina.
Rizzo. In the beginning, he annoyed the hell out of me. I would have been with Kobe and Stephanie, and I remember Q even looking at him a certain way, and I felt Q fully with the look. I think I gave the same look that Q did on TV. I had to think about Rizzo. Now, he grew on me. He grew on me. And the reason why I ranked him higher than I probably would have, although I agree with you, Alex, you got to win one immunity for me to say you're a great player. You just one at least. But he grew on me because his social game was everything. I also agree that his awareness was right on. He knew he wasn't going to do anything. He knew he had to schmooze. He had to be Riz God. He had to be a fan. I think he was thinking about jury management earlier than a lot of them were. And also to turn me around to root for him, that was hella big. I will say, though, I had to give him so much respect as being the only player, I believe, that had been out there that long, and what his body had to be going through, what his mind had to be going through, everything, and to still keep us entertained after being out there for so long, when it took Joe a week to turn into whatever he turned into. I could appreciate Riz God. I could appreciate him even in his tears, spelling his name out. I just everything tickled me. And at the very end, I was rooting for him when it came to him against Jonathan. I was like, you know what? Whatever. I really don't care who wins at this point. Let it be Rizzo. And I think they underestimated him. And that's why he got as far as he did. And that's also why I think he had a chance of winning, because if they took a step back and was like, this kid got to the finale again. How did we let this happen? I think if they really thought about it, and just for him being out there so long, that he would have pulled some members. Also, he was the underdog, supposedly, out of them. But I guess I'm a Riz God fan.
Kobe.
I'm also a Riz God fan. I have Rizzo ranked at 4th, I believe. I said going into the finale, and I still believe that he was playing the best strategic game of the final 5. I don't know if he would have won. I think he probably should have beat a couple of certain someones. But yeah, I like Rizzo. I like his game. I also would love to see him come back a 3rd time. But like, I would watch Rizzo come back a 4th time. So like, I want him to come back in a couple of years, and then I want him to do what Alex said and like take 10 years off and like then come back in your 30s. And but I need to see Rizzo again quite soon. I can't lie. I find him really entertaining, and I find him to be an all-around good player. And I can say that I stuck around through thick and thin, even when he voted out Ozzy and he voted out Sari. I said, I see the vision, Rizzo. They don't see it, but I see the vision, bro. And I love Rizzo.
Can I say one more thing on Rizzo? We're talking about him like
course.
he's 18. He's 26. He's the same age as me. Like, I don't think it should take him 10 years to mature. Like, I don't know.
You're a much more mature 26-year-old than Rizzo is.
I
We
mean, I
don't need
agree.
him also being a caricature of himself too soon.
Wait, Ben, you're 26? I thought you were
Yeah.
29.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
he's a
26 still.
baby.
I'm the
Well, the
same age.
problem
I'm
is
just
we
saying, I'm the same age as Rizzo, and I don't act like this. Like, I don't think it's a matter of 10 years. I think it's a matter of maybe he sees himself on TV and acts a little bit differently if he plays
Well,
the
you
game.
did say you were the Ben M of all the Bens.
Mature?
BNM.
Moving on to number 2. This person, so Rizzo 3.8. This person at number 2, 3.2. They got 3 top level nominees. 1 vote for hero of the season, 2 votes for the most improved, 1 vote for the most disappointing, 2 votes for most likely to never play again. It's the winner of the season. It is Aubrey Bronco. No, I mean that's what the podcast guest voted. I didn't vote for her most disappointing at all.
My
It wasn't me.
winner.
Most disappointing. Yay. I didn't put her most
I
disappointing.
didn't vote her as most. I don't know who did. But Aubrey, shouts out to Aubrey. One more thing I have to reveal for Aubrey, because in the beginning I asked y'all, were y'all happy with the winner of the season?
No.
Based off the 18 responses, we got 66% happy with Aubrey as the winner, 33% not so much.
That was a
happy with
trick
Aubrey.
question. Out of the final 3, yes. Out of the final 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, no.
Some people said that.
Exactly.
Some people definitely said that. They were like, all right, like out of the final 3, yeah, I'm happy, but considering the cast. But Aubrey, so here's the thing with Aubrey. I loved her on season 32. Loved her, favorite. But then like seeing her on the other 2 seasons, like, and then 50, grumpy Aubrey, going against Genevieve, like didn't like her. And then the edit, I was like, all right. And former Survivor players said this too on their podcast. Literally, all right, I'm being force fed a narrative. We need to back off this Aubrey edit. It's a little bit, it's forcing. Like everyone can see it. We get it. She wins. Can we see some flashbacks from Joe? Can we see some flashbacks from Jonathan? From Tiffany? How many times do we have to get told that Aubrey almost won season 32, but she lost? How many times do we have to see Michelle? Personally, this is my opinion. I think Michelle was tired of her because of how many times she had to watch that and say, fuck. Oh, sorry. It's like, damn, we get that you almost won. We get it. I do like Aubrey, though. I am happy with the final 3 winner. She's good. Happy for her in general because of her like arc of what happened, you know? Shouts out to Aubrey. And I heard the story about what she does with that shirt. That's kind of gross. Kobe, why don't you talk about Aubrey?
Yeah. Take us on out, Kobe.
I mean, I feel like, can I volunteer to go last to talk about Aubrey?
Sure. Yeah. That works.
No, make him go first so we can just say, yeah.
That works. Alex, go ahead. Alex, talk about Aubrey. I'm sorry.
Sure. You know, I'm glad that we're recording this podcast a week after the finale, because if we would have recorded this the night of the finale, I would have had some words, I think, you know, but ultimately I've cooled off on it, right? You know, it's like of the 3 people, of course it was Aubrey, and of the 5 people and the way that they were edited in this season, of course it was going to be Aubrey. And as someone, you know, I think I may have texted some of you this, but my initial thought is like, do we think that Aubrey is an aspirational winner? You know, it's like, do people other than that one girl, Mariah, I think from season 46, who said that she played like wanted to play like Aubrey, and then Q immediately voted her out because of it. But like, you know, it's like, is she the type of player that people want to play as? You know, because it seems to me in season 50, we would want to encourage people to enter this new open era of Survivor with a winner that we're like, you can be just like Aubrey. And I just don't know if people are like that, right? To me, I guess that is, you know, just kind of a selfish thing from the production side of things, where I was just like, either they should have made her more of a narrator on the season, or, you know, they should have like rounded out her character. That was the hardest part for me, is like, she won and we knew that she was going to win, but like, why? You know, is it just a revenge? Is it just like, you know, unfinished business, you know, character arc? It's felt so flat to me. And I don't think that's her fault. I think that's just the way that, you know, she was edited, and they chose to have other more high profile characters kind of narrate the season. But ultimately, like, again, happy for her. I have nothing against Aubrey, right? You know, I just think, you know, obviously there's always going to be other people that you want to, you know, that you're cheering for to win the season. And I was never at any point like cheering for her, I guess.
And I think, to answer your question, because I think that was good, like how you said, like, would people actually aspire to be like her, like the winner? I think if they're a returning player who had a tough time on their previous season, they're like, I'm going to be like Aubrey, go and win the next time I play, something like that, even though it took her 4 times. But Katina.
I think when Ozzy had a dream, he dreamt that Aubrey woke up, because Aubrey gave us absolutely not a gosh darn thing before then.
Yep, that's true.
And then she woke up. I can appreciate the fact that she bought that eBay or off of Etsy the game. I laughed. I love that she practiced and was like, there's no way I'm losing this. But Aubrey, how you know you was gonna even get to this game? She gave us nothing, but when it counted, she did what she had to do, and she made the moves that she had to make. And it took 21 people to leave for me to root for. So good job, Aubrey.
That's
Great
true.
job, girl. Great job,
true.
girl. You were riveting in the finale. Thank you.
It took 21 people for her to leave for me to root for her. Is a crazy true statement. All right, Ben.
Put it back into compliment. Katina said everything I wanted to say, but more eloquently. I had Aubrey ranked at number 3. I thought her pre-merge game was quite bad. I thought her early merge game wasn't that great either. She kind of coasted on her pre-game relationships. But then, like Katina said, around the final 9, final 10, she woke up. And the one thing I give her credit for is I think out of everyone in the game, she was the one person who knew exactly who she could beat and knew exactly who she couldn't beat and made sure to take out all the people that could beat her and keep all the people she could beat in the game. And then she won the challenge she needed to. So because of that, and because of the fact she won the game, I have her at number 3, even though I found her pretty boring on the season. In fact, the one thing that entertained me the most about Aubrey was an interview after the season where they asked her, like, were you an alternate for the season? And she said, no, I wasn't an alternate. I just got taken off the cast and then added back onto it. And
That's hilarious.
Like, so you were an alternate. Got it. In respect to her, like, if she was in that spot and she still won the game. So, yeah, credit to her. Let's see what Kobe has to say.
But before you go, Kobe, I have one more thing to say. This narrative that she played like Michelle, I don't know if that's actually true. Michelle had friends throughout the whole season. People liked Michelle on the season. Aubrey was not playing a game people just did not like her. People wanted her out. If her tribe went to tribal, she would have been gone. If it wasn't for the Blood Moon and Genevieve not having her idol, Aubrey would have left. So I don't know. I feel like the Michelle thing is like being beat to death. But Kobe, go ahead. I'm going to mute.
Listen, Kobe wrote a haiku.
I did. I have several points that I just took while listening to all of you speak because I just feel like I need to prepare myself. So the first thing I want to say is I believe that Survivor editors edit the winner in the way that they want to tell their own story. And for Aubrey, it was the Michelle story. You could think about it with Kyle, where he's like, I'm the most average, normal guy. You see Joe is the front runner to win until you see Kyle wins at the end because he's average. Erica, I'm the wolf. I'm the sheep in wolf's clothing. We didn't hear nothing from her from the beginning. Then at the merge, she pops up. She's the wolf. I think that going into the season, Aubrey told them, I'm going to play a Michelle game. That's the game I want to play. And that's why we got the edit that we got. And forever, I disagree that she didn't play a Michelle game because she did. If you go back to 32, Michelle in that early game got lucky because her tribe kept winning. Had they gone to tribal, Michelle is on quote being said. She goes home. Everybody knows Michelle goes home throughout that pre-merge. Basically, anytime if she goes to tribal, she gets to merge. She slowly starts building connections, starts moving here. Okay, now let me move over here. Let me move over here. And I do believe that's exactly what Aubrey did. I don't think she had, I think she did have a bad pre-merge. I'm not going to argue with y'all there, babe. She went to tribal, they was on her ass. But I do think that the edit amped it up so that we could see her more as the underdog. You can't convince me that she wasn't going and talking to people on that original tribe and like, oh, I know that I'm the target and people aren't somewhat listening to her. I do think throughout the pre-merge she had good relationships and we see it form with Tiffany very quickly when they swap. When it comes to the merge, my baby, here's my hot take for the season. Aubrey Rocco played one of the best Survivor floater games that we've ever seen, in my opinion. When I think, and the only person who I can think of off the top of my head who's played a better floater game is Sarah Lucino is the only person who I believe has played a better floater game than Aubrey. I think Aubrey found, like she said, that sweet spot of, I don't want to be too close to you so that, you know, people notice that and maybe you'll be mad at me when I flip on you. But I also don't want to be too far away from you that you're like, okay, well, we're not working together. I'm not working with her at all. I think she made a smart move by flipping on those nerds at the beginning of the merge. And she's not getting enough credit because she is the person who went to Jonathan and said, let's make a big move. We can make it happen with Christian. And like she said, when she laid out at FTC, she purposefully left out members of different sides of different moves that she was making. Aubrey voted correctly every single time she went to tribal this season. She was the second option basically every single time she went to tribal, and she made it all the way to the end and won. So people can take that one way or the other way. I think that deserves a lot of respect because not only were you the target, but you were the target and you were still in on every single move that happened. And that is my closing argument on Aubrey Rocco and why she played one of the best floating games we've ever seen in Survivor.
You have a song? Do you have a song?
Wow. Oh God.
I'm gonna dedicate. What song should I dedicate to her?
All right, moving on to the
Yeah.
first one.
Haters.
She's a
Booted.
lady. She's a lady.
Because they ain't us. And I would
Float
like to say
on,
that
maybe.
I
No,
would
no, no. We
emulate
don't
an
hate
Aubrey
you. We
game.
don't hate you.
I would emulate an Aubrey game personally. Because it's a smart
Kobe, you
game.
don't.
Why
Kobe,
play
you
hard
don't
when
play.
you can play smart?
Kobe, you don't
Kobe,
play like
you don't know how
Aubrey.
to play small for
You don't play
no.
like Aubrey.
Please, get out of here. They didn't have nothing to show us about Aubrey's
Yeah, you're more
transition because she
entertaining.
gave
You're
us
more entertaining.
nothing before.
And
Okay.
she was so boring. I've been telling everybody I'm an Aubrey stan, but she was so fucking boring this season.
Okay, thank you.
But that's editors. That's not her.
No, that's her.
Editors made her boring.
It's both.
Editing got it right on this lady. Mhm.
They did get it right though. They did get it right, and I need you to go back and watch. I need you to go back and watch episode 1 though, and look at that exchange with her and Genevieve, and you tell me how Genevieve is the villain.
She was boring even in the rivalry.
Respectfully, she went to Genevieve and started that conversation and said, "I feel like there's a weird vibe between us. So what are we doing about it?" So
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
I didn't catch
real and clear in the air.
That was the only
catch the
thing
what are we
she
doing
said
about
that
it.
she
I only
could
caught
say
the
that
first
production
half.
got.
There was a weird vibe and then leaving it.
Yeah. But guys, let's move on to number 1. Katina, thank you so much for staying for so long.
I'm good. She just came in, so I'm good.
This video went way over. Next time I got a
we
slot for the right
good.
amount of time.
No, this is fun. This is perfect. We're good.
I agree. It's a lot of fun. But this person, number 1, we know who it is. They got their average was 2. Their average was 2.0. They got 3 votes as number 4. That's the lowest they went. They got 2 votes as number 3, and they got 11 top tier nominations. Shout out to Sari. We know who's number 1. She also won the hero of the season with 7 votes. She got 4 votes to most likely never play again. Shouts out to Sari. She was my number 1 as well. Amazing game. Probably one. I haven't seen her first game. Admittedly, I haven't seen that season yet. But I like her her postseason press. How she said, "Yeah, I didn't think I was going to win that season. I went there and I was surprised I was staying every time. I'm like, wow, I'm still here. Wow, still here. Like, what a great mindset. Like, she went on there because she loved the show, she loved the game, and like was just surprised she was still there. She had fun, made new friends with people unlikely to make friends with, like Emily, like Rizzo, Rick Devens, like amazing lady, very entertaining, controlled pretty much the game until she didn't, which was the episode she left, or maybe the episode before when Ozzy left. So amazing. I would have loved to see her get a Survivor win, but she can go down as the greatest player to never win, and also just one of the greatest players. Period. That's cool. Ben, what did you think of Sari?
I love Sari so much. When the cast came out, I said, "Do I need to see Sari again?" No. Am I happy she's here? Absolutely. And I knew I was going to be rooting for her. And yeah, her charisma, her social game is unmatched. You mentioned her first season. I actually think there's one thing from her first season that she should have taken to this one, which is she had a strategy to vote out the GOATs because she didn't want them sitting at the end instead of her. I think she needed to use that a little bit here because when she was voting out people like Christian and Rick and even Stephanie a little bit, I think that those votes, had she waited one or two rounds, gotten Joe or Jonathan out first, I think she would have been set up really well. The way it went down, ultimately, I do think she was somewhat screwed by the twist being separated from Ozzy, but it led to her being this big threat without the allies in the game to save her. So I have her at number 2, but she was amazing. The fact that she made it as far as she did, that she had such little heat on her, and that she had as much control as she did was crazy. And it was a blast to watch her. And I think the reason the season for me was like an average season and not like a below average season is because Sari was in it for almost the entire thing.
Kobe? I agree with you, Ben.
What more can you say that wasn't already said? Sari is the queen. She is the godmother. Like, everybody knows, like, she's the fairy godmother of reality TV. Every time I see her, I love her. When people are like, "Oh my God, do we need to see Sari again?" I think you're crazy. Yes. The answer is yes. Every time we need to see Suri. We cannot have enough Suri. I love Suri. Like, I don't know. There's just something about a Black woman being on Survivor and being like, I'm the best to never win this game. Because I just feel like it's so hard for Black women to play these games. So for her as a Black woman to be like definitively the best person to never win the game of Survivor, I love it. Like, I don't know. Like, can you be my mom? Like, adopt me, Suri. I want to be Kobe Fields. Like, but yeah, I love her. She was one for me. And I don't think there was anything she could have done to change her fate in this game. She controlled it until she didn't. They were always going to get her eventually. I think because even the Aussie vote, respectfully, she controlled that one without really trying to, because they came to her for permission and she said, yeah.
That's true.
So, yeah. So, she controlled that one too. They said, oh, should we go? What about telling Rizzo? She said, yeah, go tell Rizzo. And they went and told Rizzo. So she controlled that vote too. She literally controlled every single vote until she went home. And I love that for her. Like, she's that girl. And I was so scared she wasn't going to get the 100,000.
Yeah, it's funny you said that about her being a Black woman, because it is kind of weird when you think of the show Survivor. You don't really think like someone like her would be the greatest to never win. But something.
That's when the greatest never
Katina.
wins, though.
Katina.
Suri. I will put out there, I'm not as big of a Suri fan as everyone is. And that's not saying a lot, because I'm a big fan of Suri. I'm just don't idol worship Suri. However, what I can and do appreciate about Suri, and people that are bitter and sour grapes has said it's manipulation. It's not manipulation. She had control in the game because people respected her. People respect who she is. And I think some of the ones that did try to bum rush the game with their decisions need to take a few lessons from Suri. She said what she said. She stood on what she stood on. She's not afraid to vote anyone out. She's not afraid to say what how she feels and what she thinks, and she looks at the long game. I think the reason why she is not a winner is because we still have to deal with some of the issues that these games and Survivor brings about, because anybody else playing a game like Suri would be there in the end. And I loved her even on Traders. I loved being able to see that side of her as well. And she still was herself. So I can appreciate her seeming like she came to have fun too. I didn't need to hear for the 500th time that she got off the couch. I think they overplayed that. We know she got off the love seat and came to play Survivor a few times in some other games. I can definitely see why she's a fan favorite. She's a favorite of mine. I love her realness when Stephanie was talking and was like, was that a question? I'm waiting for the question. I liked her shade that she threw at the finale. I loved all of it. And seeing her in her glory, I'm actually a bigger fan than I was when I started. And I just love her. I hear you, Kobe. She probably couldn't adopt me, but I would definitely go and kick it with Suri and have some friends. I would have some drinks and stuff.
Definitely have some drinks.
Yeah, so we
get down. I can tell.
Oh, for sure. And we did hear that she got off the couch, but we still did not hear that as much as we heard that Aubrey almost won season 32, but she lost because
that's true. As you should.
Alex.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. When I talk about aspirational players, right? Suri Fields is the aspirational player, right? And I think the fact that she has the title of the greatest player to never win the game says more about the game than it does about her, right? Absolutely. I think that is the ultimate. My biggest takeaway is like, Suri, the game is not built for Suri to win, and that's an issue with the game itself, right? You know, it's like when people have to gang up to get her out because, you know, they see that she's such a big threat. Like, yeah, she is the best player on that island, far and away the best player on that island. Like, not even close. She's running circles around these guys.
Yep.
But it's just like, it's so fun to watch her. You notice how she never says no to someone when they come to her for a vote. Christian comes to her and says, hey, I want to get out your number one ally. She never says no. She never ever says no to someone. She's like, oh, that's an interesting idea. And she's like a master of redirection. She's, she knows, whatever, judo or whatever it is, it's like she is constantly just redirecting. And it was just an absolute masterclass. It was just so fun to watch as someone who was like, would love to be on Survivor and really enjoys playing like the ORGs and the LRGs and everything. It's just like such an aspirational thing to watch her and study her game and just be like, how does she do it? It's just like she invented the term mist. It's like when we talk about, someone having missed, it's Suri. And it was just an honor to watch her on this season, especially if it's just like the last time that we see her on Survivor. I mean, I think it's fine, give us someone else a chance, but like put her on more shows that she can win and just, give her $1 million because she deserves it, man. I tell you.
100%. And she ran away with the number one ranking, 11 votes out of our 18 people. Shouts out Suri. She's such a sweet person, sweet lady as well. I remember when she sat on the hammock with Jonathan and she fell and she just bust out laughing. And Jonathan's like, are you okay? Wait, no, are you okay? And she's just laughing, just trying to have a good time. That she just bust her ass on TV. And he's just like, no, but are you okay? Which shout out to Jonathan for checking on her, but it was funny.
And has the best eyelash glue ever. Best eyelash glue. That's what I used to find out from her.
So we got some hot takes. And this first one, Alex, I was thinking, could you read this one for me?
Of course, yes. So it's Jeff Spoiler's mistake at the live finale was intentional as a plot to make sure they never have to have a live finale again. So basically, what my thought on, Jeff spoiling Rizzo at the finale, and a lot of people are saying like, how did this even happen? There's so many people on production and behind the scenes. Like, how did they even let Rizzo go out on stage? How did they not know where they were at? And I think it's all a conspiracy because Jeff has come on record saying like, hey, we're never going to do a live finale again. And this is just the nail in the coffin for it now. It's like, oh, you remember that one thing? I'm not going to make that mistake again. So we're not going to do the live finale again. That's my conspiracy theory. I'm putting on my tinfoil hat and that's what I'm going with.
Well, you did spoil us that you wrote this.
I did.
My question was going to be, do you actually believe this?
I do. I 100% believe this. I also love a good conspiracy theory. So, I'm always pushing a little bit of that. So I whether or not it's real or not, I think that there's a larger conversation about Jeff Probst's role within the show that could be had. And that's another podcast for another day, I think. But I personally loved the live finale. I thought it was really fun and it was very reminiscent of the older seasons. And I wish they had more of a reunion to talk to some of the players that were not on the jury. Like I would have loved to hear some perspectives from some other people. We talked to Mike White. And I'm like, why did we talk to Mike White? Just because he's famous? Whatever, But like, I wanted to have like a Love Is Blind reunion finale, but for this one, because it's like, I need to hear the tea. Like the exit interviews are fine, but like wait till they're on stage together and then, get Joe talking about Rick Devens, right? And then get Charlie talking about Rizzo. Like that's what we want to see. And we just
100%.
didn't see it. And it was sad.
100%. I agree with that. But one word answer. That's it. Based off that hot take, Ben, do you agree or not agree? Yes or no, or agree or not agree?
Not agree.
Katina.
No, and Jeff did say he would think about doing it again while we were there.
Colby.
Kind of. I agree, but I think for the opposite reason.
The thing is, Alex, I don't know if I love a good conspiracy here, but if the reunion is live next year or next season, then this goes away, right?
Of course,
it can't be. Okay. Edge of Extinction. Do you guys like it? Yes or no? One word answer. Ben?
No.
Alex?
Yes.
Katina?
Yeah.
Kobe.
No.
Thank God.
I'm gonna
no.
say yes. I'm gonna say yes as well. And the last one, if there is no Billie Eilish Boomerang Idols, Aubrey leaves instead of Genevieve during the Blood Moon twist. I'm gonna say yes, 100%. Ben, yes or no?
Yes, if Genevieve has the idol.
Alex,
Yes, I agree. And what a season that would have been.
Katina,
Full agreement with Ben, but we never would have met Kobe.
oh, that's funny. I was like, wait, what? Kobe.
No, I don't agree with that. Joe.
That's funny. All right, Kobe, can you read that first? We're not going through all these, but Kobe, can you read that first one, please?
I can. Aubrey played one of the best Survivor floater games we've seen in a while.
Didn't he just say this?
Yeah,
And
that
I've
was
already
huge.
heard this whole spiel already.
Katina, can you read that last one on the list?
Lackluster season and finale. The fans should have wanted more past cameos. It was time to do rest in peace, the lost survivors. It was so many in the audience that I wish they would have acknowledged on stage
That's a
for
good
50.
point.
It
That's a
was
great point.
we could have had cameos in challenges of people that almost made it, but we didn't get to see. It wasn't in the hands of the fans. It was in the hands of production. That's my
And
hot take.
I like that. I don't necessarily disagree with. Well, I don't disagree with Kobe's. I do disagree with the lackluster season. I like the season. I'm not gonna lie. I like
gotta
the
watch
season.
all of them. You
Yeah.
gotta watch out. I mean, for it to be 50, it could have been a
Uh-huh.
big
No,
celebration.
you're
We
right.
didn't need to see the stars. Too much
No, you're right.
time on Mike White. It was all of those survivors, and I sent you all some pictures of them that were in the audience that could have been involved in some way. Even an acknowledgement of them. He didn't
Yeah.
say the survivors in the audience, can they all stand up even?
Oh
You
yeah.
know, something along the lines. But the best thing about the finale was my being there. And
Yeah.
so I
Facts.
can't complain. But I think they could have did more for a 50. And
I do think it was a
with that,
lackluster
it was
reunion.
lackluster.
I do think it was a lackluster reunion, 100% for sure. The Ghost Island one, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but I do agree with it. I think Ghost Island would have been a great twist for 50, bringing back all the old stuff. But I guess that's what they're doing with the new era now, right? Open era is
era,
literally
baby.
just Ghost Island. Yeah.
We can do
So
any
shout
twist we've
out.
ever done or a new one, just like any other season of Survivor.
Right.
Except the Billie Eilish. We don't need that to ever come back.
So these are the first. This is the first couple of what's these called hot takes I got, and I was like, whoa, Rizzo is getting a lot of. And at this point, Rizzo had like 2 top tier rankings, or no, one top tier ranking. But yeah, people think Rizzo would have won. He would have beat Aubrey. He would have won if he was in the final 3. Like,
I'm not so sure
agree,
about that.
agree
I'm
or
Rizzo's number
disagree.
1 defender, but he wasn't beating Aubrey. Let's be real.
So Ben says no. Alex says no. Katina.
Not beating Aubrey, but he could have won if he made the final 3 without Aubrey.
Yeah, and Kobe. Well, I know you don't think he could beat Aubrey, but
Never.
and the whole season was a D tier.
Yeah.
Whoever wins, yes, we know that one. Mike White is overhyped. Do we think that Mike White was overhyped, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like all the celebrities in this Survivor season.
One more
Mr.
thing.
Beast was the best one, and that's because they didn't let him say anything.
I forgot to show you guys the villain of the season. It was between Jonathan and Coach, and that one vote for Emily at the end that snuck in. And I'm pretty sure I did show y'all the number 1 ranking, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but we actually got to the end, guys. Thank y'all so much for everything.
And the rivalry forever. The rivalry was everybody against Tiffany at that one, not in the end, but when they were trying to figure out who the middle was, it was like they left Tiffany out of both sides. So I said the best rivalry to me was everybody versus Tiffany because they didn't include her in the middle, whoever the middle was supposed to
The
be.
middle was everyone
And-
except for Tiffany. That wasn't
Right.
in their lives.
It's
and then
ridiculous.
them in their alliance, right?
I see. I want to thank all y'all for all the hours that y'all put into this podcast. Thank y'all so much. And y'all are all invited because I do plan on doing Survivor 51 for sure. I want to do that one. So I hope all y'all come back. Shouts out to y'all. And thank y'all for filling out the rankings because I know like I had this idea for this video. I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool. And now I know, well, this is a returning season and it has 24 people. But if we ever have this type of season again, I know to add an extra hour to the format because I was really close. Just an hour off. All right. But
Yeah, it's dope.
Alex,
It was cool.
thank you so much. Alex, bro, go ahead and shout yourself out.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much forever for including me on this season, on this podcast, on this episode. Love to be with these amazing minds, amazing people. I hope each and every one of you gets to, be on Survivor, especially once Rick Devens becomes the host. We all know Katina's going to be on there. As I said at the beginning, my name is Alex. I run a board game recommendations and suggestions channel on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok called Might I Suggest a Game, a channel devoted to helping you find your perfect board game. So if you ever need any board game recommendations, I would not recommend the Survivor board game. Unfortunately, it sucks. But we'll get it. We'll get it there. We'll get it there. And I said that in my Survivor audition tape. Okay. So anyways, that is it for me. Love you guys.
Yeah. Don't play the
you
Survivor
too.
board game. Just play a orc. It's much better. Katina, again, apologies. I know you said you
No,
right,
no
but
apologies. She
I feel
just
bad.
came in later anyway. So, and she knows I'm talking. She calls you all my family. So she said, oh, she's with her family now.
Shouts out,
But
baby
she
Katina.
teases. She teases. But what am I doing? I'm coming to a LRG near you in October-ish. I just want to say thank you. I love anytime I get to spend time with my, I guess, brothers, nephews, what have you, my family. Kobe, you are definitely became a family member right away too, and I appreciate any time that I get to spend with you all. We'll be doing something soon. I know I've said that for a little while, but keep posted. Gibbs Games, shout out because you brought me my family. And Kobe, you were brought along by forever. So I'm just thankful and grateful that you all include me and that I'm here. So I appreciate all of you. Love you all for real, Alex. And yeah, that's it. You all will see. I'll yell about it when it's out here. And
Ben,
I got my voice back in enough time to be able to do the show. It's not fully back, but I'm working on it.
Ben.
All right, you can follow me on Instagram at Benjamin Emotes. I'm also playing Blood on the Clock Tower multiple days a week, and I'm playing on a brand new channel. We stream on Twitch 6 Eastern time every Sunday called Clock Tower Council. So if you're new to the game, that's going to be a great way for you to learn. And I also played my first LRG. I am sporting the buff, and I will just say I need to have my own Aubrey season 50 story as I felt a little bit robbed by the jury in my LRG. So one of these months I'll have to find another one to play and get my redemption.
Yes. And invite us. But Kobe, quick question. Have you been on Gibbs Games?
I have not been on Gibbs Games.
You need to play traders on there. But
Yeah. Sign up for Zoom traders.
Application's open.
Fun fact, I played my first Discord like traders game thing. I played it with Matthew Gibbs, the host of Gibbs Game. And
was it
traders
Kasha's Castle? Oh
yeah,
wow.
Kasha's Castle. In Kasha's Castle, we were season 2, we were traders together.
And did
When I play-
Did you vote him out?
So funny story.
'Cause he told me
Oh,
about
yeah,
this
give us the
story.
tea.
And it was the final four, 3 traders. I voted out the other 2 traders, went to the final 2 with the faithful and 1. And
that is hilarious. That is you are a villain.
Money, but
No, you are a villain. That is a villain move. That is an Alex to forever move. That is
Okay,
fair.
all right. We don't have to bring up.
You
I
have
thought
to watch you have to watch season 17,
We
the
ain't beat
Oscars.
that
horse
now. Okay, now.
All your faves are there, and you'll see why we're right here too.
Mhm.
That is hilarious what you did to Matthew. But anyway, go ahead.
Thank
Kobe,
you,
I'm sorry.
Alex. I owe you.
Hey, respectfully, Matthew was my recruit. So like if I didn't want to share my win, maybe I didn't have
Was
to.
it for money? Was it for money?
No, it wasn't for money. I
Just
was
ego.
Hey, you know what? Not everything's about the money forever.
Yeah.
That's right.
I met Jacoby on Kasha's Castle. What season was I? 9?
I think
But
you did play 9.
Kobe was production, just to let y'all know. So I met him after. He was really cool.
Kobe's
But
a great
go ahead, Sasha.
producer.
I am. And speaking of producing, I do plan on producing a few games this summer. In the next few weeks, I will be dropping an application to a Big Brother game. So keep your eye out for that. And then I plan to do another one in July. And then in August, me and my friend are planning our first Survivor LRG. So keep your eyes out on all that stuff coming up, and it'll be a fun summer.
Oh, cool.
And I Am Forever. Thank y'all all again for being here. I Am Forever. Thank everyone for watching these podcasts. It's been so fun. On Instagram, Discord, and TikTok, Forever Young _Zoe. I am currently inside of a Big Brother org, House of Royalty. Shouts out. I don't know how I'm still there. On Target day 1 on the block. 9, top 9, which is started with 18, and I'm at the halfway mark. They upped the price to $600, so hopefully, fingers crossed. Shouts out House of Royalty. Shouts out House of Royalty. It is all day. The house is open right now. I can go into Discord and just chill in a room. Shouts out House of Royalty, though. If anyone wants to get into orgs, long-term orgs, you should join it. It's pretty fun. Don't be like me, though, and be a target for no reason. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but it's been fun. Also, you will see me in an LRG in July. I wonder if it's the same one as Kobe. I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
I don't know. We'll see.
Why don't you both tell me separately? That way I can tell Ben and Alex.
I told y'all already. I told all 3 of y'all already. But all right, guys, we'll see you next season. Oh, Big Brother? I don't know.
Forever.
Yes, forever. We said we're doing Big Brother.
We'll see.
You're gonna have to name your show too at some point.
At some point, yeah. It can't be On Fire with Forever. They told me no.
I said Forever Zoe show.
That's so
I said
good.
I'm on the Forever Zoe show tonight.
Someone said we're surviving. We're surviving forever. I said that's cool too.
No, that sounds like some R. Kelly type stuff. You don't want to do that. No, all those surviving shows don't have a good connotation.
We need Rick Devins as the host now. So
Oh no, if that's the case.
Okay, guys.
Oh, Lord.
Everyone wave bye in unison. Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.
This was fun.